Right now on 710, we're taking off with 9 hours of live and local LA sports talk.
The home of the 9-hour LA Sports Mega Block.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking.
We call it the LAX, LA Sports Mega Block. Of course, powered every day by LAX, Los Angeles International Airport, where change arrives daily. Let's get to it. Time to get in the air. We're taking off, LA.
We have clearance, Clarence.
Roger. What's our vector, Victor?
Travis and Sliwa has clearance right now.
Yeah! How you feeling today, Slee?
Come on.
You're good mood? Emily, you're good?
I think we have
Roars
so
to you?
many new listeners now because I did the lookie, so welcome in the new listeners.
Welcome to
Ooh,
the
yes.
hundreds of thousands of new listeners we have to the Trav and Slee show with M's looking. Buenos dias.
Buenos dias.
How you feeling?
I'm good.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, how was the execution? How does it feel doing it?
I don't know. You guys told me I
Well, I
can't
gotta
give
be
myself
honest.
great. I know,
Me neither.
terrible. Yeah. You didn't hear it at all? Yeah, great.
Well, you know
When
what?
did
I'm
it
in here
air?
before the show. I have my headphones turned down. We're
course.
talking. We're working, and I didn't get a chance to hear it.
I'm so happy that you said that because I thought, you were going to have a full analysis and, hey,
Well.
in line 2, I thought you could have done this.
we should play it at some point so we can give you
Yeah, I think
our.
we
You
have
have it
it.
right now, Jorge? Let's take a listen.
Coming up Wednesday on the Mid-Morning Spectacular, Travis and Sliwa. Wow, did that prove Travis wrong? That was exciting last night. The Lakers win. Who cared if it was a loose ball or not? They got the timeout. They got the win. Down go the Suns. On to Vegas. Did Dave Roberts pull the most Michael Scott moment of the baseball season? And is there a disconnect between the front office and Dave Roberts? And of course, Taylor Swift is the Time Person of the Year, so you know that I'm going to bring it up. All that and more coming up this morning at 10 a.m. on the Travis and Sliwa Show on 710 ESPN.
You know what I heard?
You're the winner.
Yeah. You just
win.
Good job.
At what a cost.
Good job.
Okay.
That was as good. I could never hope to do as well as that. You should just pick up the ball and run with it from
You
here
mixed
going
in
forward.
the Lakers perfectly.
Yeah.
The timing was good. The pacing was good. Did Dave Roberts
Energy.
just screw up Shohei Ohtani?
Energy
I don't
was
know.
great.
Maybe we'll get into it. And then to come back with, let me just cap this thing off. There's a certain person that one time of the year, yeah, that sounds like a
Wouldn't change a
damn
thing.
good
Right.
promo.
Messi one-time sports person of the year. That's fantastic. And then also another person.
I think
Well, that wasn't in you didn't put the Messi part
You
in.
did it.
you know what I think we should do? And I have nothing other than that was awesome, period, right? Awesome.
Yeah.
But let's see if you can do it twice.
Oh, wow. A challenge.
No. Here's what he's saying. Let me. Can I
Are you
sit
a
on this?
one-hit wonder?
Yeah.
Are you,
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
Mickey, you're so fine? Or are you the next big
Da-da-da,
thing?
two-hit
What
wonder.
makes great players great
Consistency.
players? They do it every night.
That's right.
You're not asking the question whether they're going to deliver or not.
Yeah.
Travis and I, we probably do it 45% of the time.
I'm like Ice Spice. She was like, oh, they're saying, oh, one-hit wonder. So what now? Two-hit wonder? Da-da-da.
Let's go. Let's get 2, 4, 10, 100. Let's see what it is.
That was good, Em.
Okay.
It was really well done.
Yeah, that was really good.
I liked it.
Let's see what
Energy's up
happens tomorrow and the day after that.
I just have to slow down the cut, too, so that I don't talk on over myself. is
No,
main
the
thing?
pacing was good. The energy
Okay.
was good. The pacing was good. The content
content was good.
There's humor. There's
The
a little bit of
tease
shade.
was good.
All of it.
All
Yeah.
right, thanks, guys.
Do it tomorrow.
And the next day. And the next day.
Look, let's just take it one day at a time, right?
One day at a time.
Like baseball managers like to say, these things tend to take care of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
If you're the right person for the job, and it feels like you might be, let's just see what happens next.
Yeah, Taylor Swift says the trash takes itself out, too. So, you know.
Is that what she says?
Yeah.
I'll take your
He
word for
said it
it.
in the
She
article
does say
of
that
Time
in
Person of the
the-
Year. Oh, sorry. Wait. I brought it up again? That's
That-
crazy.
In the
That's-
article.
I thought you said Messi got it.
Time
sports.
person.
Sports
of the
person.
year.
She just didn't mention
Yeah.
it in the promo.
Oh.
Yeah.
She only mentioned
Wait,
Taylor
there's
Swift,
there's
but not-
multiple peoples of the year?
There's probably sports person. There's probably like a politician. It's probably, I don't know.
But
whatever
she
kind of
gets
person.
the grand prize.
Yeah, because she's the person.
Okay,
of
the
year.
person.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
No,
she's not
nobody
like
else
the.
exists.
She got 3 different covers, too.
3 different
She
covers.
got
She didn't
more
get
than 3
three
covers.
covers.
Yeah.
Yes, don't worry. I've
A
looked
lot,
at all
yeah.
of them. Her cat's in one of them.
I
Benjamin.
saw
Oh, no,
Yeah, see,
really?
that's too much.
Yeah.
See?
Or
The
cat?
whole magazine.
Yeah,
What'd
Benjamin.
the cat do?
The cat is her prized possession. She loves her cats. Anyway, how was your day, guys?
I'm in a good mood today.
Yeah?
My knee doesn't hurt as much.
Amazing.
The music went off at some point last night.
Nice.
It went off?
Well,
what?
it wasn't on when I went to my car at 5:30 this morning, so I'm assuming it went. I mean, I guess it could have gone off at 5 or something like that.
Okay, question
but
for you. Do you
it
think
wasn't on?
Do you think somebody complained, or do you just think when you play music with the same battery over and over 24 hours a day, at some point that battery is going to fall asleep?
Duralast.
Or somebody listened and sent them the podcast. Hey, your neighbor's complaining. Listen
Fine.
to this.
Talking
Look, if
mess
that's
about
how it
you.
went down, that's great.
dope.
I also did not answer my door again yesterday, which is becoming my new. Because look, it's the holidays. People are dropping things off and all these things. You say you get the. I'm like, I'm good.
Wait, why did the person come to the door?
Somebody left a little bag of treats. It was actually
Okay,
a very
that's
nice thing.
nice,
It was a
yeah.
friend of ours, and they came by and left us a little holiday bag of goodies.
Very nice.
And so I waited a solid 10 minutes to make sure there was nobody there, and I went and looked, and there was the bag of treats. It was
So,
wonderful.
Does your neighborhood do a lot of Secret Santa or pass it on? Because my neighborhood that I grew up does it a lot. So you get something, then you get tapped essentially, and you have to go do it to someone else. So
What neighborhoods are these? Our neighborhood didn't do anything like
Oh,
that.
yeah. So not Secret Santa stuff, but we do have what you're describing. Like,
Yeah.
for instance, my son Michael is a member of the baseball team, and their big fundraiser of the year is they sell Christmas trees. So he goes up, and there's 4 or 5 houses on our street that every year they've bought a Christmas
They're
tree from.
slanging trees, and
Right.
even in July, they're trying to get out in front.
So there's that. We have Girl Scouts on our street. We have other kids that are involved in youth basketball on the street. So if
This is a little different.
If you knock on my door, I will support your cause on my street.
Yep.
So my neighborhood, or at least what happened to my parents. So do you guys know those lights you stick in your front lawn and it projects onto your house? So maybe it wasn't a whole neighborhood thing, but it was this one woman who we love her. She's a family friend. She kept on sticking it in people's lawns for them and be like, "You just got lighted," or "You got lit," and then would pass it on. And you're supposed to pass it on to the next person. Lit someone else's lawn. It was a very weird neighborhood.
Yeah, we don't have
I
that.
don't think that was happening.
we
Yeah.
don't have that.
Yeah, in El
lit
Cajon,
neighborhood.
at least in this specific neighborhood I grew up in, not much of that. Not
No.
much of that going on.
Not
No.
a lot of team spirit, so to speak.
No, I think a lot of it has to do, because I'll use your neighborhood as an example. The houses are next to each other.
Very close to each other.
And it's very, very easy, I'm assuming, to whether you know your neighbors closely or you don't, but it's like familiar faces. This,
Oh,
that.
sure.
My parents' house, it's like one driveway. Our house is up on not a very big hill, but on top of the hill.
Okay.
Everyone house around you is like their backyard. It's the fence.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
a little bit more land. So it's like, so you're not really, it's not as conducive to
I can
houses that are like
basically
this.
hand my neighbors a cup of coffee through
Through the
my
window,
bathroom
kitchen
window into
window,
their
yep.
kitchen. They're close. When you walked into the side door, Jorge, you basically had to come through their kitchen to get to my backyard.
Excuse me,
They're
guys.
very
Yeah,
close
excuse
to
me,
each
guys.
other.
By the way, can I ask a quick question on the time of the Taylor Swift thing? Is it normal to have a lot of different covers? Is that
yes, the
something
Time
that's normal?
Person of the Year has a full long spread and multiple covers. Yeah,
All right.
it's happened.
Because
in
if you
years
would have
past.
said, no, it's the first time they've done this, she has 9 different covers, then I
then you're like, oh, that's special.
would say, well, let's just keep it at 3. If
Did
we're doing
the
everybody
janitor's
else.
closet that she moves around in get a picture on the cover?
They did not actually get the janitor's.
The popcorn machine.
Right. Of all
Yeah.
the things that I have learned about this woman through
Yeah.
you, Emily, that to me is the
Against
most
your will.
intriguing part of her deal. Like, her music is fine. Some of it I like. Some of it I'm not interested in. But that she has to move from point A to point B via popcorn container is fascinating.
Her and
to me.
Shohei Ohtani would get along just swimmingly because they
Yeah.
both value their privacy
I
to a
get-
point. They want to be seen when they want to be seen, talk when they want to talk. It's great.
Shohei is not in a popcorn machine.
What?
We don't think. What do you
Maybe.
mean? What? What are
Talking
you
about the
showing?
cat?
It's fine, Slee.
That's funny that she knew exactly which one, too.
Yeah.
There's a cat.
Benjamin.
Benji the cat.
Yeah.
Beautiful cat.
It's Olivia, Benjamin, and something else. Can't remember the cat's name.
What are you laughing at?
Do you know you don't even have to look at the other person and you know they're looking at you? That was our connection right there.
I just, I feel like I had not
Meredith.
seen
I forgot about Meredith.
Meredith. the cat.
Meredith.
I had not seen that picture until you showed it to me,
First
but
I've seen it.
I knew exactly what that picture was without seeing it. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you just in your mind's eye, you're like, I know what that's going to look like, and it was exactly what I thought it was going to look like. How was it last night? at Crypto. How was it because on TV, I forget what it was. There was a game late last season. I don't remember exactly which game it was, but
a Laker game.
Yeah, there was a late season Laker game that had an energy to it that was noticeably different from most regular season Laker games, and it was as though they were making their push.
I was going to say, it's probably playing tournament related,
probably.
Something like that.
I don't remember exactly what it was, but it has like, oh wow, that's got a lot of energy in the building. It felt like that watching it on TV last night. I would assume it was even more so in person.
So I don't want to. How can I set this up? When you really, really think about it, it's not a big deal.
The tournament you're talking about?
The game and the tournament, and like when you really, really think about it, what's at stake, I don't think if you pay that close of attention, you're going to walk away saying, okay, it's not that big of a deal. But I think a lot of people are not doing that right now. I think a lot of people are just kind of rolling with the punches. Hey, it's the quarterfinals. Hey, it's this. If you win here, what do you mean you don't play it? You're playing in Vegas in December? What are you talking about? Okay, wait, let me look on the other side real quick. So you got the Bucks and the Pacers and the Pelicans all waiting for your game, right? It did have a little bit different of a buzz. And I don't want to be over dramatic or anything. Look, you can't. Just
the energy in the room you're talking about.
You can't mimic a playoff game.
Right.
You can't. You can't mimic hey, if you win this game, you're in the postseason.
Maybe you can, because it had, again, my opinion on this is well known. I don't know if there are no stakes, how exciting I'm going to be personally speaking. Mm-hmm. But there's no denying that there was energy. There was no denying that there was intensity in the play that you typically don't see in the first week of December. There was.
If your argument was, guys, I've been telling you it's not a big deal, and watch these guys play, this looks no different than anything else. But the fact that even acknowledging, saying, no, that kind of feels a little different. That looks a little different. The intensity's a little different. Yeah. KD might say something that's a little bit different in a regular season game. Braun might say something. KD was the only one not crying yesterday. It was everybody else that was crying.
He did it afterwards online at a 15-year-old probably. Why did you rank me number 7? Yeah.
Could have done that. I think there was a little bit different energy to the game. And, as the dust settles, you got 4 of the best players in the NBA going up against each other as well. Right? Like you have, it's KD, it's Devin Booker, it's LeBron James. John was trying to make that argument yesterday. Yep. John was trying to say, now, if the Lakers were playing the Pelicans yesterday, I don't know. I think that probably changes some of the juice of it.
Play them on Friday, right?
They'll play them on Friday in Vegas, or on Thursday. If Lakers end up playing the Pacers in the play-in or in the in-season championship, of course that's going to be different than if they play Giannis and Dame.
It's because it's not as good of a game.
Yeah.
By the way, listen all day during today to 12 days of 710 ESPN for your new morning show. For our new morning show host, Michelle Smallwood, to tell you when to call in. When she does, be caller number 7 at 877-710-ESPN, and you get to choose a holiday box in the 710 studio to win fabulous prizes. It could be Travis's box. It could be Sliwa's box. I would say go for those 2 boxes because, this show's great. But also Macy's box, Island's box, Sedano, or Cappy's box. The season of winning on 710.
All right. So there was something that happened towards the end of that game last night that just made you go, I can't believe I'm still seeing this after this many years. We'll do it next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN. Get real and keep it real this holiday season by buying real Christmas trees. Did you know that buying real Christmas trees helps save the American Christmas tree farming industry? For every 10 Christmas trees planted, an acre of land is saved, and so are American farmers' jobs. Plus, buying real Christmas trees helps keep real holiday memories alive while helping our environment. Buy real Christmas trees this holiday season at Lowe's or wherever Christmas trees are sold. Get more information online at getrealkeepireal.com.
The 12 Days of 710. Hi, this is Michelle Smallman, host of the new ESPN radio morning show, Unsportsmanlike. Heard weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. right here on 710. It's that time of year, time for the season of winning on 710. Just listen for me to give you the cue to call. When you hear it, be caller number 7 at 877-710-ESPN, and you get to pick a holiday gift box in the 710 studio. 12 Days of 710, made possible by Sierra Subaru of Monrovia. 12 days, 12 gifts, the Sierra Subaru way.
For ESPN LA contest rules, go to ESPNLA.com and click the contest button. Hey, it's Mace. Life may not always go as the playbook intended, but the LA County Department of Mental Health has got your back. If you ever feel anxious, overwhelmed, need immediate help, we're here for you with free emotional support.
The Black and Gold are heading to the MLS Cup Final again.
That's it, it's over. LAFC are going back to the MLS Cup Final. They are the Western Conference champions.
The reigning MLS Cup champs LAFC will defend their title as the run for the repeat just got real. It's LAFC versus Columbus Crew in the 2023 MLS Cup Final. Coverage starts Saturday at noon on 710 ESPN and the ESPN LA app.
Play this song to me if I'm ever in a coma. I will come out of that coma right away and just come right up because I love the entrance to this song. The intro is so good.
This is her coma song, Slee.
Yeah. Do you have a coma song that'll get you out of a coma?
I've never heard it described as such, but I like it.
It'll wake me out of anything.
That's pretty good.
Sure, her and Reeves still together, but then the whole Kelsey thing is just like
it's a side story.
Pretty big shot from Austin Reeves last night.
Yeah.
Pretty big shot.
Can I tell you something about that? There's a lot, obviously, to get into the game, but I'm not saying that Reeves has never done this in his career because he has had big moments. I mean, that's why that happened, the I'm him, that happened specifically in a situation where he hits a big shot against the Dallas Mavericks. But to be up one with about 15, 17 seconds left to go, and Bron and Anthony Davis are on your team, and you without hesitation say, I'm going to go ahead and take a three. Let me play this out for you. He doesn't hit that three, everyone's going to say, why are you taking a three when you're up one?
Yep.
That's the first thing. He doesn't hit that three, they're going to say, why doesn't LeBron or Anthony Davis at least have the ball in their hands and then they can make the decision, especially if Phoenix comes back, wins a game, or gets a bucket, because it's only a one-point game. He hits a three in the most cold-blooded situation that you can have.
Yeah.
And it's not, shot clock running out. It's not this. It's I'm setting up whoever's guarding me, and I'm going to step back and I'm going to shoot a three. That's a big-time shot in that situation when you have two other dudes who are Hall of Famers that don't touch the ball in that situation. I don't want to be dramatic, but that's also a really, really, really good sign of a player that has no problem taking that type of shot.
No doubt. I well said. And I'm not comparing these players or these teams, but sometimes B.J. Armstrong needs to make a shot. Steve Kerr needs to make a shot.
Yeah.
Paxson needs to make a shot. Michael's going to
Derek
take
Fisher.
most of them. Derek Fisher. You know, Michael's going to take most of them. When it's not Michael, it's going to be Scotty. Occasionally, Steve Kerr needs to shoot that ball. B.J. Armstrong needs to. Derek Fisher, hey, Shaq ain't going to take it. Kobe's not going to take it. Powell's not. You need to take it, and you need to make it, and he did. You're gonna need that guy to make that shot.
Those are great comps. Very, very good comps. Yep.
They're super important. They're not the most important, not even the second most important, but they're important, and he did it last night. I thought it was great. It kind of just elevated all the things we've been talking about for the first month or so of the season. Like, hey, you know, it's been a little bit of a mixed bag. Maybe not what you thought. It's stuff like this to go, all right, that's what you're going to have. You're going to need that once or twice in the playoffs, maybe 3 or 4 times, where it's just, look, LeBron was amazing last night. We'll get to him in a second. AD, I thought, was really good in the first half and okay in the second. Not great, but
missed a lot of easy
He missed some easy putbacks, but he was getting offensive rebounds. He couldn't finish around the rim. Sometimes the ball just doesn't go in. I'll give him a little grace on that. But you're going to need your third guy, your fourth guy, your fifth guy. That's going to have to step up occasionally, and he did last night. It was great. Very quickly. Ask Laura coming up in about 25 minutes from right now. It's our Wednesday guest.
Got some good ones coming in. Yep.
So Laura's coming up in just a little bit. You're banging the buzzer?
Why? Why are we having Laura on?
I like it.
You could ask. That could be your first Ask Laura.
Why are you here today?
I bet you guys anything. She'll say, "Oh, he's just hating. He's just like, oh, y'all don't know him." Oh, trust me.
What gives you the right?
I can't wait. That's Jorge. You get the first question.
Yeah, that's 13,
right. 13 years of friendship.
That's coming up first. All right. So I want to go back to what we were talking about at the end of the last segment. We talked a little bit about this before the show. This is LeBron's 21st season.
Yeah.
We've been watching that for 21 years. And what I'm talking about is game still hanging in the balance. We're down to the last minute or so, or less in this case. And when LeBron James decides, I'm going to the basket, it's happening. Like you have a choice. You can try to defend it the best you can. He's probably going to make it. You can foul him and send him to the line, and he still might make it. Or you can just watch him go in there and hope and pray that the ball just doesn't go down. But he's getting to the rim. He did it again last night where he just kind of puts his shoulder down, he puts his head down, and he's still got that burst. He's still got that high-end speed, and he still has the ability to finish at the rim. We've been watching that play for 21 years, and there's still no answer for it. Sometimes he just misses it because it's basketball and it doesn't go down.
Yeah.
But it just, I don't know what it was about it last night, Sliwa. It's just like, he's still doing that, and there's not a damn thing anyone can do to stop him. It's remarkable.
Okay. I think there's a lot of Laker fans and just people that, watch the game, and there's times where, and I do this. Bron, stop dribbling the ball, waiting until the shot clock's about to run out, and you're taking a shot with 3 or 4 seconds left on the shot clock. Like you're almost actively looking for things to critique Bron, okay? And I think that's common when you have the great players. Used to happen to Kobe, used to happen to Shaq, it happens to LeBron as we sit here today. And then I think there are moments where, at least for me, that I'm watching Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis all playing at the same time. And I don't know what your thought is, but I have a pretty good idea. He's still the best player on the floor, and I don't.
And it's not close.
You can argue who's second, but
Sure.
I can't. You can't argue who's first.
No. And quite frankly, Kevin Durant, one of the greats of his era. Devin Booker, a great NBA
with
player.
a great future to come.
Absolutely. Yep. Anthony Davis is a really, really, really good NBA
champion
player. LeBron James is the best player on that court last night, and it wasn't close. There are 3 other Hall of Famers on that stage last night, and there was one guy that was so much better than the rest, and he's in his 21st. It's not like, hey, don't forget what that guy used to be. It's not. He still is. He's not that 82 times a season anymore. So far this season, he kind of has been.
Yeah.
He's played virtually every night, but it just was one of those nights where every once in a while you're reminded of not only what he was, but what he still is. That, to your point, there were 4 guys in there that are among the best players in the league, and he was the best, and it wasn't close. It was an extraordinary performance from him, just remarkable.
He had 31, 11 assists, 8 rebounds, and 5 steals.
Played
Played 40 minutes.
Yeah, well, that's a whole nother can of worms, right?
By the way, you're right. It is. I mean, of all those players, think of not just the best ones on the floor, but there's some guys that, for other teams, they're younger guys. They're going to get a lot of minutes. Like Grayson Allen might get a lot of minutes, or Cam Reddish might get 30-plus minutes. Bron had played the most minutes of anybody out there.
Austin Reeves can play 40 minutes. You're like, yeah, he's fine. He's fine.
Bron played 40. These other guys, 39, 35, whatever the case is. So even I think and it's a good observation because last night, like you said, Lakers need a bucket. This is a small example, but it was a highlight to me. Lakers started the third quarter. It was a 14-0 run by the Suns.
Yeah, they came out of half looking bad.
And they looked lost, this, that, blah, blah. Bron gets the first bucket for the Lakers, and it is getting to the basket, goes up, and you hear the commentators, nothing you could do. But it just becomes so routine. And when you get something that becomes so routine, you appreciate it less. If every day I wake up and I have a home-cooked meal, I don't appreciate that meal the same way I would if I only get that once every couple of weeks,
I had
right?
a PB&J last night since you're asking.
There you go. Yep, there you go. Thank you for that.
I did.
PB&J is great.
It is good, but it makes that home-cooked meal. Susan got home from work. I'm like, so what are we doing? She's like, I don't know what you're doing. I'm good. I'm like, I guess I'll make a PB&J. Sorry, I waited for you. My bad.
Just make this here real quick. Were you disappointed when you bit into it?
No, it's great.
Of course not.
Of course, it was great. It
wasn't warm.
Why didn't Travis make Travis food?
It was late. I waited. She worked late last night, so I waited for her to get home. I thought she might want to have dinner together.
Yep.
So I waited for her to get home, and she looked at me like, "No, nothing. That's what we're having." I'm like, "All right."
You know what you should do? I hope she's not listening.
She's not. She's at work today. Speak freely.
Tomorrow, tonight, you should not lay out your clothes. Just be loud as hell tomorrow.
Funny? See, this is what sucks. Every time I do it now, I think of you judging me. Like before.
Well, I judged you a lot more before I knew that it was for Susan.
Yeah, but now
No, Christopher Nolan does the same thing. He wears the same thing to set every day. So it's one less decision to make. Greta Gerwig did that instead of Barbie. One less decision to make in the morning.
Okay,
so Travis, you're just like Christopher Nolan.
You didn't see the Beckham documentary, and I'm pretty sure you're not going to be watching it anytime soon.
She came at Jorge for the Beckham documentary the way she went at Ben for the college football final.
Yeah, right.
Ben is still. I still see Ben guy. Just like this.
He's looking at me like, dude, help me. I'm like, you're on your own, brother. I got nothing for you. Good luck.
We'll go get a coffee. We'll go get a coffee. But Jorge and I remember vividly Beckham saying that, he lays out his clothes. And here are these just unbelievable. He's got a rack. And you're looking at the clothes. I'm like, oh, my gosh, have these clothes ever been worn before?
And then
what designer is this?
And then the guy asked him, is that for the whole week? He's like, yeah, I started by doing the day, but now I can plan my whole week.
Now he's got the whole week set. I mean, the guy is just like, everything is so pristine. And then you're telling me, I'm like, Trev, but you wear the same pants every single day.
I spilled on them on Monday, so this is my second pair of pants.
You got a different rotation. That's so good. So good to see that.
You know what I just realized as you were saying all this stuff? This is embarrassing, but I don't care. I'm going to tell you all anyway. Every piece of clothing I have on, except for my underwear, is a free thing from work. I have a pullover.
And if work would give it to you?
Right. Yeah, right. I have my 710 pullover.
Yep.
I have my Meat District T-shirt from when I was doing Meat District. And I have my Travis Matthew pants that I was gifted at one of the golf tournaments.
Shoes, socks?
The shoes and socks are also mine.
So you said
all of my underwear. So
you said
shoes,
that it
socks,
might be
undies.
a little embarrassing. I got to be honest with you. None of that surprised me.
Okay, good.
None of that.
But I didn't realize that. I knew I have a limited wardrobe of things I wear to work.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize they were all just freebies. That's a little weird.
Let's try to get you some shoes. What's the size?
12 and a half.
12 and a half. If anybody wants to sponsor, give us some shoes.
At this point, it's not even going to be sponsors. We're just going to ask listeners to donate. Whatever they want to donate.
I thought for a second, Em, that I might have had the In-N-Out socks that you gave me on, but I don't have them on.
Could be like the fruit. Could be Fruit of the Loom. Something like
Fruit
that.
of the Loom. Tommy John Haynes. Me and Michael Jordan could sell some Haynes.
Kirkland, I'm sure, is a great one.
Not great skivvies.
Kirkland, no.
I also got on this Mandela effect thread last night.
All right, write that down about
the Fruit of the Loom, though.
Yeah.
How some people believe that there's a cornucopia on the Fruit of the Loom thing, but there's no cornucopia. It's just the fruit. So
two apples too, which always blows my mind.
Yeah. The Mandela effect is so strange because you're like, wait, wait, why did I see that? It's kind of crazy. Also, this is some hot stove news
Ooh.
or whatever from John Heyman.
Otani's a Dodger.
No, sorry.
Soto's traded.
So Yankees and Padres are working to finalize Juan Soto deal.
Yeah,
Perhaps today, King and Thorpe are expected to be part of a package heading to San Diego. From John Heyman.
I want to talk about that. Obviously, we want to talk about Dave Roberts just basically giving the minutes of his meeting with Shohei Ohtani yesterday, which was
I'm surprised he didn't just say, hey, guys, just to save everybody time,
Here's the tape.
I streamed it. It's almost uploaded on YouTube. Give me a couple more minutes, and I'm going to have the whole thing for you guys.
It was bizarre. So we will get into all of that coming up in just a little bit. But we talked about LeBron going to the basket, Reeves' this big shot. The Lakers are going to Vegas because they got a little bit lucky. Now, they put themselves in a position to get lucky, but they got a little bit lucky, too. That's coming up next. It's Trav and Slee, 710 ESPN. Hey, if you're hurt in an accident, call Sweet James, 1-800-9-MILLION. You know the number by now, 1-800-9-MILLION. That's 1-800-900-0000. That's the number you call because not all accident attorneys are the same. Not all of them have been awarded best attorneys in America. You know who has? Sweet James. That's right. Decades of experience, multiple attorneys looking at every case, and they're going to make you feel good. It's scary. It's confusing. You're not quite sure what's going on if you've been hurt in an accident, and the insurance company, they just want to get it done. They just want to move on to the next one. They don't really care about making you whole again. That's why you got to call Sweet James, 1-800-9-MILLION. He's going to get the car fixed. He's going to get the medical care that you need. And perhaps most importantly, definitely most importantly, he's going to make sure that you get what you're entitled to, what you deserve. That justice is served. So if you're hurt in an accident, make the call that I've made, that friends have made, that family have made, and call the accident attorneys at Sweet James. Car, truck, or motorcycle accident, 1-800-9-MILLION. 1-800-900-0000 and sweetjames.com.
Check.
So I think if you asked the listeners of this station, 710, when you think of this person, what do you think of? When you think of that person, what do you think of? We've all of us here on the station, whether it's you and me, Al, Emily, Jorge, Mason and Ireland, Corporate Greg, everybody, Sedano, Cap, Morales, all of us. You think about one or two things when you think of that particular person. Apparently, my thing when it comes to the listeners of this station is drinking beer really fast. Yeah. Do you know how many people sent me the video of that guy wagering his own beer chugging speed against others? Did you see it?
I could maybe guess because we got tagged in a lot of the same ones.
I had to have. If I got it once, I got it 100 times. It was just, hey Trav, you should take on this guy. Take on this guy, Trav. You got to do this. Take on this guy. Take on this guy. And I think I'm okay with it. I think I'm okay with that's the
good one to have.
Lane that I have. That dude has real speed.
No, it is. Let me tell you,
real speed.
I watched it a couple times and I could not understand. It's like literally, it's like taking a shot, right? It's the closest thing that I could think of. When you take a shot, what do? You just put your head back, throw it, and it's gone. He does that with a 12 ounce, what, a 16 ounce?
Okay,
let's say
16.
16 ounce. That's exactly how he drinks the beer, as if it's a shot. What happens in here to allow that?
Well, I think I know, and I think he's faster than me, but I think I would give him a better run for his money than anybody I saw in those videos. Because my favorite part of it, for those of you that haven't seen the video, let me explain it to you. It's a guy that basically put a card table out. It looks like it's a tailgate.
Yeah, it's a tailgate.
And he's got this cardboard sign out front that says, I'll put up 100 against your 20 if you can chug a beer faster than me. Give it a shot.
Yeah.
And there's a line of people trying to do it, and he's just taking them out one after the next, just one after the next. The part that I like the best is he's just waiting for the other guy, like, go ahead and start. Like, it's not like, 1, 2, 3, go. It's like, yeah, just go ahead and start. Once you get started, I'll just blow past you by the time we get this thing going. Nobody came within a half a beer of the guy.
No one.
Who's it? That guy? Was it Freeze or something like that?
Yeah,
the
running,
Atlanta Braves.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where he does it, where you give them the head start.
Yeah.
That's him, but in a
That's kind of what it was.
beer chugging.
That's kind of what
contest.
it was. I think he's faster than me, but I saw it, and to your point, Slee, it is just kind of gone. 16 ounce. Wasn't that much faster than me, was it?
He's faster than you.
I think so too.
But
it's,
how much faster?
Yeah.
We're at the combine, running a 40.
Okay.
Some guy you're like,
he's a 4.2.
He's a 4.2.
Am I a 4.25?
No, I think you're a 4. You're a 4.4 to that guy.
No, I'm closer than that.
You're
I'm
looking
closer
at a
than that.
4.4 as if I'm saying it's 6.7.
Yeah, but 4.4, there's a lot of guys that can do 4.4.
Gone.
Yeah,
Also, Parker just let me know that apparently he made $440.
Yeah. $20 at a time, by the way.
Okay, that has to be non-alcoholic beer. He can't take down that much beer.
We talked about
You know what I mean?
this.
Depends.
It's got to be non-alcoholic. And also, okay, question for you as the expert beer chugger. Is there a difference? Like if you chug, duels versus chugging Coors?
Between those two, very little difference.
Okay.
Between
You're
an
not chugging a
O'Doul's and drinking a
Perrier.
Stone IPA, there's a huge difference.
Yeah. I just didn't know if there was a difference between the alcohol level.
No, like a Coors Light versus a O'Doul's, a Michelob Ultra against not a huge difference.
You should do Guinness next time.
I'll do whatever anybody wants to do as long as it's
What
even.
if for the Corona Extra countdown and kickoff, you had a Corona Extra chug at the beginning of every segment? See what Rams takes would come out then. You know
I
what,
don't know
this
about
Mason
that.
Crosby guy.
Yeah, let me tell you about it. Luke Haversing's a bomb. Right?
For the record, that is not why the state I was in when I did tweet that.
Do you think that he's that much faster than me?
Who, me?
Both you guys.
I think he's slightly faster than you.
I do slightly though,
Yeah,
right?
not like a big difference.
I
Like,
think though
not
that
like
if
me
he gave
against
you the head
DeAndre.
start like he was giving the people, you would smoke him.
I don't think I could smoke. I think
If he gave you the head start,
yeah, with the
maybe.
head start, you probably
you have to
even.
hustle a little bit. You got
Yeah.
to be like, oh, I've never done this before.
But also watching the video, that there's like 8 beers by the end of that video that he chugged.
No, he was
like
getting
man,
after
like
it.
8 beers in half.
I think
an
the
hour
only
is
thing
gonna
I
mess you
learned
up.
is you need to start charging $20 and put this thing on the map.
He's got to win 5 to break even.
Yep. He's winning 5 easy.
Oh, he's winning 5, but if he won,
But then he can't lose 2 in a row. If he loses 2 in a row,
440. That's a lot.
Yeah, at $20 a crack.
It has to be non-alcoholic, by the way. It just has to be.
Or it's put together over time. Maybe
yeah,
I don't know.
That's true too.
I don't know. Maybe,
For the safety of everybody listening, do not attempt that.
I don't think this guy gets in the game, though, right?
Yeah, I'm going to put a card table out on my front door and just let random people knock on my door and give me a try. My 100, and I'm not doing 100. I'll do 40. We'll do 2 to 1. I can't risk 5 to 1. That's not going to happen. All right, so Austin Reeves gets the ball inbounded to him.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those, I'm expecting contact, but contact never comes, and now I'm off balance, and now I got to start dribbling.
They're trapping him, too.
They're trapping him. He loses control of the ball.
He may have gotten fouled.
And on the other side of the court, LeBron James calls a timeout. The referee grants
Which
him a
you
timeout.
can do.
You can do, but your team has to have possession of the ball, which they did not.
I'll give you just and I watched it a few different times. We could justify it all you want. I didn't think he got fouled.
I didn't either.
And I didn't think he had the ball.
I didn't either.
So I think that you could – it's so funny, and I know this happens in sports. Like, you have to protect your team no matter what. No, you don't. You could just say, maybe we got away with one. I think they got away with one. The best way for me to describe it, the end of the play, the end of the game, Reeves gets the shot. Lakers go up 4. And then Phoenix basically saying, let's just get a quick 2, and then we're going to foul – but maybe we trap for a quick second. Reeves didn't really have the ball. By the time LeBron, you got a ref on the other side granting the timeout.
Yeah.
It was a bad call. That's how I looked at it. I thought it was a bad call. I thought Phoenix should have the ball, or what they do is that the ball is inadvertent whistle, whatever. They throw a jump ball at center court.
I hate, hypotheticals because that's not what happened. So why are we talking about the thing that didn't happen? If that's somebody that's not LeBron James calling that timeout, do they get the timeout? If that's Cam Reddish, if that's, almost anybody else on that team that's, asking for the TO, do they get it? I think that LeBron is such a force of his presence is so overwhelming.
It's LeBron James.
It's LeBron James.
It's Michael Jordan.
And if he
it's
says,
Tom
I want
Brady.
a timeout, you give it to him. And not in a nefarious way, not in it that's fixed, but LeBron's asking for timeout, and I'm not entirely sure what's going on, but in that fraction of a second, boom, timeout, you get it. That's, I think, what happened. Because if that were, I don't know, pick another guy that was on the court, Cam Reddish.
Yeah.
If he does it, it's like, I don't think he's got the ball. I'm going to let this thing play out. I don't know, but that's what it felt
listen,
like.
I think there's something to that, right? It's no different than if LeBron James is taking the ball to the basket, a whistle may get blown where if, let's just use the same exact example, Cam Reddish is taking the ball to the basket, a whistle might not get blown, right? Like that there's certain players that, as much as they like to say, certain players that have earned something or that just – over time, you think that they're more apt to get a call. If I know we just keep saying Braun, but I'm going to use Braun as the example. If Braun tells the referee during one of those plays, I'm getting hacked every time and you're not calling it, he's probably going to go to the basket in the next possession, and you know what? He's probably going to get a foul called. Remember Phil Jackson used to do this? It was strategic. Phil Jackson, after a game, would complain something about the refereeing. Shaq's not getting to the free throw line. He's getting hammered. He's getting this. You know what happened next game? They get to the free throw line. So I know
that's the old thing. Like, we're not complaining about the one you just did. I'm complaining so I get the next one. That's the whole goal.
I think that if I could just summarize yesterday's play, I didn't think Reeves got fouled. I think it was a loose ball, and they should not have granted a timeout to the Lakers. And I think sometimes – KD, I thought, said it best at the end of the game. KD was basically like, look, we had 22 turnovers. The game didn't come down to that play. We had plenty of other times that the game could have been different, but it's impossible in sports. The Packers and the Chiefs were playing each other on a Monday night game, and it was a clear pass interference that wasn't called. That stood out more because it was the end of the game. It was the final drive, and I think that just happens in sports.
It usually happens in favor of the team with the most famous player on it, and I think that is what happened last night. The Chiefs won. It's the opposite, right?
Didn't happen to Mahomes,
is the most famous guy, and it didn't go his way. But I agree with you that, hey, listen, you had 48 minutes to get this thing in your favor. It can't come down to the last call in the last 5 seconds of the game.
Even though it was the wrong call.
Even though it was the wrong call.
Yeah.
And I think that's the only way that you would be able to look at it without going insane, because then you're thinking, I'm never going to win. You're always going to hand it to them, but they did not have the ball. That was not a foul, and I don't care what anybody says.
And Vogel and Booker did not take the same approach as KD.
Right.
You know, Vogel was like, there is nothing in that play that would tell you they should be granted a timeout.
I got it anyway. What are you going to do? Ask Laura coming up next. It's Travis Slee, 710 ESPN. And speaking of Devin Booker, Slee, I picked Devin Booker in my prize picks last night. He let me down. LeBron did what he's supposed to do. LeBron went over the number, right? More or less than their prize picks projection. LeBron had more. Devin Booker had less, and I had them both for more. Didn't hit. But prize picks, this is what's so much fun. I'm going down the last second of the game, and I need not only a bucket, I need a Devin Booker bucket. Pick between 2 and 6 players. You can win up to 25 times your money at Prize Picks. It's awesome.
Prize Picks is the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America, as Trav just mentioned. You can make your picks, submit them. You get your entry in at about 60 seconds. I already picked today's games. There's a full slate of NBA games. I got Joel Embiid, more than or less than 32.5 points. I'll go more because they're playing the Wizards, and the Wizards play no defense. Trae Young, more than or less than 28.5 points at Brooklyn. You know what? I'm going to go less than in that one. I think Brooklyn has some defensive players. Go to prizepicks.com/710. Use that code 710 for a first deposit match of up to $100. Again, prizepicks.com/710. Use that code 710 for a first deposit match of up to $100.
13 months ago.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10:45. Ask Slee, and Ask Slee is presented by our friends at Harrah's Resort SoCal. Find your funner state of mind with a visit to Harrah's Resort SoCal, voted best resort in funner California. From dining to unwinding, you'll find fun around every corner. Learn more at harrahssocal.com. Let's get to it. Ask Slee right now.
All right, it is a Wednesday, which means that we fill in not Slee and Ask Slee, but we have somebody else here from the station doing it. Of course, it is producer Laura. See, Laura, that was not me, just so you know.
Trav, why would you do that, bro?
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Yeah. You know who did that, right?
Yeah, of course, Brianna.
Yeah, okay, good. Okay, good.
Newly promoted Laura on the Mason Allen Show now.
Yep.
Amazing. Congrats on the success.
Congratulations, Laura.
Thank you, guys.
I leave and it takes two people. Brian and Laura? Come on now.
This is turning into an Ask Jorge.
I leave Sedano and Cap, and it takes two people too, so I get it.
There you go. There you go. All right, here's your first one. This is from John in Huntington Beach of Fullerton, Laura. It says, you're on a first date with a handsome Mexican, kind of like me. This is John saying, and he tells you that he enjoys canned menudo in emergencies. Are you finishing the date or not?
Yes, exit left ASAP. Canned menudo? No gracias. Hard pass.
Why is that such a bad deal? It's just awful?
I mean, my mom makes really good menudo. You can probably go to any like mom and pop shop in LA or even in surrounding areas that can have it. I mean, why can't?
Fair.
Thing.
Sleep.
Okay, Laura, this we got a lot of good ones, but I'm going to ask mine here. Because you are moving from one show to another, because the day part's going to change, everything else. Laura, what are you going to miss most about working with Sedano, Cap, and Lindsay?
If we're talking work-related, I think just the unexpectedness of the show. I was going to say my show. Of the show, there's not one day is the same, right? If we're talking just life, I think waking up late because I would go in late to work, so that would be it. But yeah, the guys are just, in a good way, they're very spontaneous. So
Wait, you're not having to drag yourself out of bed to get to the Mason and Ireland show, are you?
Oh, yeah, she is.
I mean, no, I'm not. But it is, I'm a night owl, and I got really used to going to bed at 3, 4 in the morning.
Wow.
And, so now it's like, I got to go to bed a little bit early because there's 3 things that I have to do prior to in the show. Yeah.
I literally had a panic attack hearing you say that you were up till 3 o'clock in the morning.
That's when Travis wakes up.
Listen, Trav's 9 hours deep by the time you go to bed.
I like to get my beauty rest, Laura. What do you got, Em?
All right, Ted, this one's from Jackie Diaz. Jackie Diaz asks, what's Laura's favorite go-to dance song for the dance floor?
Ooh, that's a good one. I think it depends on what type of place you're at, right? It depends on the environment.
Let's say Sunset Room.
Sunset. I mean, if you're at the Sunset Room, they're playing everything. So, Suavemente by Elvis Crespo, I think it's the go-to song. Like, you hear it, and everybody moves to the dance floor. I don't care, what background you're from. So, probably that one, or, like, Tempted to Touch. I love that song.
Jorge.
So I've known Laura for 13 years or so.
Poor me.
Laura's go-to move when the music starts playing, she starts with the shoulders first, you know what I mean? And then she's like, I'm going to start going to dance. Who's joining me, That's just Laura. All right, this one's from Christopher Holmes. I know you love your Amazon, but he asks,
What's up, Holmes?
What's the worst thing that you love?
Oh, man. So I saw this one, and immediately it said hot Cheetos. They're so bad for you, but they're so good.
Yeah,
they're amazing,
and they're addicting. Like every one that you have, you're like, it's sometimes Spice does that. It's like, well, I got to just have another one of those.
Spice, yes, but I'm with you, Laura. There's something in that Cheeto bag. If you like get the little ones that like you used to get in your lunch as a kid at school, and there's like a teeny tiny bag, perfect amount. You get the larger bag at the deli, perfect amount. You get the giant one
at the liquor store or the grocery store,
perfect amount. Like I'm eating the whole bag, no matter what the bag size is. I'm eating them all.
Yeah, I agree. So I love to love that. Hate to love that. Something like that. Whatever. Yeah, that.
All right. Oh, wait. I lost it. Hold on. I don't want to say it wrong.
I got one. You want me to throw one?
Go ahead.
Okay, Laura, we did this last week. We did our draft, and we were doing cocktails. And we all kind of went through some of our favorite cocktails. What is your favorite cocktail drink, any type of environment that you want to set up? You're on vacation, after whatever it is. What's your favorite cocktail?
I mean, a classic margarita is really good. When I was like 21, an Adios was my go-to. Now, as an older person, probably like a margarita or
tequila mandala.
Oh yeah, man.
Blended or on the rocks?
Depends which one you have. Like, what kind of, is it like a strawberry margarita, regular? Like, if it's just a regular margarita, classic on the rocks.
Cecily.
Yeah.
He wants it
Laura,
blended. He
Laura
wants it
let's say
raspado.
you're staring at the ocean and you got your feet in the sand.
Oh, blended.
There you go. Thank you.
Yeah.
So you wanted it watered down and ruined.
Hey, Alan says
Thank you.
Travis.
Not necessarily.
Look, Travis is always gonna. He's stuck on his angle. He's gonna sell that angle the whole
Every
time.
time I hear the word margarita, I'm going to ask you that question again. Here it is. This is from, I don't know who it's from, but I found it. It says, if you had to eat one for the rest of your life, is it albondigas soup or caldo de res?
I want to say that was Big E, but it's albondiga soup.
Okay, how come?
Because it's a little bit heavier. You have the meat and the rice all rolled into one. And it just kind of reminds me of home. So for me, it'll be albondigas.
What's the other one? I'm unfamiliar with the other dish. I know albondigas soup, but I don't know the second one.
Caldo de res.
Yeah.
It's like beef stew.
Oh, yeah.
It's like what? Say it again.
Beef stew.
Oh, beef stew.
Beef stew.
Ooh.
Does it have like the potatoes and the
Carrots
Yeah, it has-
and all that
It
stuff.
just,
Yeah.
yeah, it has all of that. There's,
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
good
there's a lot of veggies in there. So I'm like, yeah, I'll go with the other one.
Laura, I got one. It's a classic Travis and Sliwa show question. What is your In-N-Out order?
Oh, okay. So I just went to In-N-Out last night. I used to get a double-double. Now I only get a regular cheeseburger, whole grilled onions, extra toasted bun, animal style fries, and a pink lemonade.
That's really close to what I get. That's
And you need the chili peppers.
yeah. So the whole grilled onion is a game changer. Have you had the pleasure,
Oh, yeah.
Slee?
I always get mine raw.
Okay, so they take that slice of raw onion, they put it on the flat top, and it's because you get the grilled onions, they chop it up, right? It's the chopped up version, but a whole grilled, it's just on the flat top. It caramelizes just a little, so it's kind of the best of both worlds.
Yeah, amazing.
Did I describe that accurately?
Yes, game changer. I used to do extra grilled onions, and a guy at In-N-Out told me, why don't you just get whole? And I was like, there's such a thing. Let's go for it.
Yeah, I like that.
That's the right answer. One more. Condo in the city or house in the country?
Oh, condo in the city, 100%.
Yeah? You're not a country
I'm a
girl?
No. I mean, Briones gives me a lot of slack, a lot of heat for wanting to live in downtown. They get weird. And I'm like, I like the busyness of the city. I love it.
Laura, good job.
Great
Is
job,
this the
Laura.
second or third time you've done this with us?
Second,
All right,
I think.
Let's not wait long for the third.
Calm,
good job.
cool, collect.
We'll
Look at
make sure
Laura.
we do it on a
Hey,
day where Jorge's off.
I got one more. Is your mom making tamales this year?
Yes, she actually made birria last night. I went over right before the game, and I just had that so good. I miss my mama's cooking. So, yeah, she's making
We
tamales.
also miss your
All right,
mom's
so you go.
cooking.
So you go bring them in. Let her know.
Is there any left?
Let her know that we want some.
Okay, I will let her know.
Thanks, Laura.
Thank you, Laura.
Bye.
Condo in the city or house in the country for you, Slee?
Easy. House in the country.
Yeah, me too.
No
Em?
question about it.
I think M might be
Yeah.
a city person.
No, it's country.
You're
Oh,
country
house
for
for
sure.
sure.
Let's go.
Yeah. M, what about you? Condo in the city or house in the country?
Depends on the city.
Pick your city. What do you like?
Condo in the city.
Oh, really?
I like being able. I like living in a walkable place.
Yeah.
In terms of like all the things that I need, I don't need a car.
I want to go Unabomber shack in the middle of nowhere. Leave me alone.
All right, well, we'll check on you in a couple years.
Let me sit out there and
All right.
do my own thing. Dave Roberts was talking yesterday, and no one's quite sure why.
I think he's still talking.
That's next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
Check out
The one that gets her out there?
Laura just got up right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, meant
Put
to
your
is
shoulders
starting.
first.
Just got up.
She starts doing this with her drink, and she's like, "Hold on, girl, let me put my drink down."
Oh, babe.
She put it down, and she was like,
By the way,
Bobby.
it's like she said, anyone will get up for this. She's right.
Anyone
no doubt.
includes
Great song.
me, and so I don't know.
Plays
You're
at
getting up.
stadiums and
No, you're
stuff,
getting
man.
up. You're getting up because it's a wedding.
If it's a wedding, I'm in.
Yep. Getting up, it's a wedding, and you had a
Are you
couple
saying you're not
drinks.
suave?
Oh, I'm definitely not. I'm not quite. I think I know what that means.
Riz?
But I'm old man, dad Riz, not real Riz, not
No, you
this
would.
kind of Riz.
Yeah, you'd be the first one on the dance floor.
Only at a wedding. I'm your man at a wedding, but in like the sunset room, it's gonna take a lot. I'm gonna have to have set up my card table, taking down $20 beers,
And then you're dancing.
in the parking lot.
1 hour later.
After $400 in your pocket, you're dancing.
The
Have you
end
heard
of
the
that
remix of
video-
this song, Jorge?
I've heard different versions of this song. Yeah.
Yeah, because at this camp I used to work at, they used to play the remix of this song. It was amazing. Got all those kids up on tables dancing.
Yeah, I don't think. Have you ever danced on a table, Slee?
No.
No,
That
nor
one's
have
never
I.
happened. Not, I don't even know really why I gave that much thought. As if, in 2004,
Yeah,
I was in PB at
There's
Typhoon Saloon.
There's a
a real
specific
place.
bar at EVA where you can only dance on tables. Like
And?
there, so it's called the Virginian, and it's
Was it
like
Coyote
12
Ugly
tables.
or-
You try to get there early, and
And?
everyone stands up on the tables. It's amazing. It's
And you've
it's,
done it.
Oh, of course.
Okay,
I mean, I've done it
okay,
multiple times. I will
okay.
send you pictures of me doing it.
I would like to see those.
Yeah.
Jorge,
What?
have you
Dance
danced on a table?
Nah.
Are you a dancer?
Here and there.
Here and there?
You know, when Brenda's like around and stuff. Like,
Okay.
yeah. Other
He's
than
got
like by
rhythm.
myself.
Do you
he's
dance
got rhythm.
well, or you just dance for fun?
I dance for fun.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I got a little more into it when Brenda, we started dating because she's like, hey, let's go dance. I'm like,
Is she a good
okay.
dancer?
She is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Suavemente has been out since '98, I believe.
What?
Yeah.
98.
98, dude.
It's a while. Slee.
It is.
That is a while. So on the TV, right over your shoulder, they just popped it up there.
Okay.
Who's going to win the Heisman Trophy? Obviously, we got our four finalists. You've got Nix, you've got Penix, you've got Jalen Daniels, and the fourth person is Marvin Harrison Jr. So you got your four guys that are going to be in New York for the ceremony. I used to get excited. Who's going to win it? And occasionally, like when a local guy is in it, like Caleb Williams last year, it's kind of interesting to me. But this is one of those years where it's like, I can give it to any one of those guys. I'm really not feeling it in any real way.
By the way, listen, I'm with you. I don't have, and I don't think I ever was oh my gosh, who's going to win the Heisman Trophy? I felt like there was more publicity around it, more prestige around it.
Prestige, I think, is a good word.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because these guys are all from other places other than Marvin Harrison. He's the only one that started at the place that he's going to be representing in New York
Could have
on
something to do
Saturday.
with it. Yeah.
But does I don't know if it's just the time of. Does anybody think Bo Nix is going to be a great NFL player? I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Michael Penix, and Marvin Harrison might. Jalen
Yeah,
Daniels,
I think Marvin
who
Harrison
knows?
will be.
Harrison's by far the best
Yeah,
bet.
I think he will be.
But I don't know what it is. It's one of those things that when I was a younger person, I used to really kind of have a strong. And now it's like, give it any four of those guys is fine by me. I don't really care. I don't know what happened.
I think maybe what you said, the prestige, there used to be more prestige around it, and maybe it has to do with these guys are jumping around from school to school, but even before they were jumping around from school to school, I didn't know if I cared that much.
All right, listen all day today. It's our 12 days of 710 for our new morning show host, Michelle Smallman, to tell you when to call in. When she does, you're going to want to be caller number 7 at 877-710-ESPN, and you get to choose a holiday box in the 710 studio to win fabulous prizes. It can be the Travis box, the Slee box, the Mace box, Ireland's box, Sedano or Cappy box, the season of winning on 710. So listen for Smallman to give you the cue
A new
to
car!
call in. That would be pretty exciting, right? I don't know if that's in any of the boxes, but that'd be a heck of. Yesterday, they picked the Trav box on our show, and you got tickets to the LA Bowl.
There you go.
Boise State and UCLA, and an Island gift card.
You know what I've never heard? Like a used car. It's like a 98 Corolla.
Yeah, that's what you give to your kid. Like, here, you can drive this. I'm getting a new car. Here's my old
It's a
car.
Nissan Frontier. That's what I used to have.
All right, so what the hell, Dave Roberts?
Okay,
Like,
can we?
What are you doing, bro? What? Why did you do that?
Which part is more ridiculous? Is it the part that Dave Roberts spent 3.5 hours yesterday talking about the Shohei meeting? Or is it the part that the only news is Dave Roberts mentioning that the Dodgers met with Shohei Ohtani. And what I mean by that is, so nobody's allowed to say anything? Like, what's going on here? God bless Shohei Ohtani and everything that Shohei Ohtani stands for. That the guy is obviously the conversation throughout the entire offseason, even though there's nothing to talk about and there's no information there. He can't say that he met with Shohei Ohtani?
Shohei Ohtani asked him not to. It's as simple as that.
It's honestly, it's like the most ridiculous thing that I've ever. Every franchise is so scared to say that if you put this piece and that piece and this piece together, that means that they may have met with Shohei Ohtani and his people.
You're looking at it through your eyes. You need to look at it through the eyes of the person that's requesting it. He's the most sought-after free agent in God knows how long, in a super long time. The reasoning behind it is virtually irrelevant. It doesn't matter what the request is.
But can I stay with how irrelevant that is for a quick second?
Sure.
And then we're going to get into what Dave Roberts did, and then we'll make our case from there. I don't know what the reasoning is to say, don't you dare freaking say that the Toronto Blue Jays met with Shohei Ohtani. Don't we all know?
But he specifically asked them not to.
Okay.
If I said to you, hey, Al, I know this is really goofy, but I don't want you to tell anybody that my favorite color is blue. You're thinking, who gives a damn? But okay. If the next day you had, hey, I was talking with Trav yesterday and he told me my favorite color is blue. I'd be like, dude, I told you not to do it. Is it stupid? Yeah. But I asked you not to do it, and you're telling on yourself a little bit. It is. Is it stupid? Yeah, I agree with you. But we're not the ones asking for it. We don't get to be the judge of this is the most sought after free agent maybe in baseball history.
Yep.
And he asked you, hey, we would like to keep this quiet. Please don't divulge any information about our meetings with you. And he turns around and talks about it.
So Dave kept saying
it's weird because every other guy, the Blue Jays and whoever else is met, the Giants, I'm assuming.
But the Blue Jays was leaked.
But they didn't do it. The manager didn't sit at a microphone and say, "Oh yeah, we met with them." If it gets leaked, that's not on them. I asked you not to tell anybody.
Yep.
My favorite color's blue. If it gets out, that's not on you. You're trying to recruit me. I can deal with it. They asked him, "Don't tell anybody we met." And he tells everybody they met. It's just really weird.
Okay, and I'm gonna get to the Dave part, but Dave also said something to the effect of something like, "We knew it was getting out," or "We knew it was getting," like basically indicating that people already knew that he had met with the Dodgers. Now let's get to the Dave Roberts part of it. So maybe Dave is saying like, "Look, I could try to keep this thing a secret, but it ain't no secret." The part that I listened to the whole thing yesterday. I'm driving down to get ready to do the Lakers pregame, and it was whatever my ride is from Pasadena at 4:15 on a Tuesday coming to downtown LA. Dave Roberts talked almost that entire time, and 90% of it was about Shohei Ohtani. It was. So let me take what you said. Let's say, hypothetically, the first question came up yesterday. Hey, have you guys met with Shohei Ohtani? By the way, I'm a reporter, and I have to do my job. Did you guys meet with Shohei Ohtani?
I'm not talking about Shohei Ohtani. Ask me another question.
Let's just say he said, guys, we did meet with Shohei, but I'm gonna throw this out there.
He's already blown it. If that's his answer, he already blew it.
Okay, I'm just going to throw this out there. We met with Shohei Ohtani, but I'm just telling you guys, that's it. I'm not giving any more information. You guys want to talk about anything else, I'm happy to do it.
That's a terrible answer.
That didn't happen.
That would have been just as bad.
We met with Shohei Ohtani. Okay. Then now you open the door for a reporter. When did you guys meet with him? A couple days ago. Where'd you guys meet? In L.A. No other question. At Dodger Stadium. Okay. Interesting. So now, like every other reporter, this is an open conversation. Now we can go. This went on for like 10, 15 minutes. I mean, 10, 15 minutes of, so even you kind of saying what you're saying about, you don't even crack the conversation out because Shohei doesn't want you. And I get your opinion and everything. I think it's absolutely ridiculous, but it is what it is.
It
doesn't.
What he thinks.
But I'm still going to give you my opinion. I still think it's ridiculous.
But what's the relevancy? You know what I mean? Like they're not.
He's the biggest free agent in like you said, in the history of baseball. Nobody can talk about it.
They can talk about it. He can't talk about it. Everyone else can talk about it. Dave, I asked you not to. Here, I want to give you an example.
But Trav, here's the thing. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just telling you it's ridiculous.
Yeah, but
it could be irrelevant to the conversation. It's still ridiculous.
It's not ridiculous when he asks for it. It's ridiculous in the universe. Here's an example. I believe it's Van Halen, might be the Rolling Stones. They have a rider in their contract that stipulates in their dressing room, no green M&Ms. You know why it's there?
Mm-hmm.
To make sure that somebody read the damn thing, to make sure they're dealing with another professional, to make sure that they know that people are buttoned up. I don't think he actually cares if he says anything or not, but am I going to can I trust you? Can I trust you? In other words, if I ask for something dumb, are you gonna go, "Oh, that's dumb. That's not important. I'm gonna do it anyway." Or it's like, "Hey, look, if that's what he wants, that's what I'm gonna give him." So, and Dave failed the test.
So here's what I was gonna say. Then can we get back to the absolute foundation and the root of it? Then if that important of a player that can literally, we were talking about this, I think late last week, whenever it was, that think of another signing as big of a deal in the city of Los Angeles, and we're bringing out the icons of icons that represent L.A., and this one might be bigger, then why would Dave Roberts do that?
I have no idea why. I other than he couldn't stop himself, I don't know. Look, the Dodgers very quickly tried to walk this thing back.
They literally tried to put him in a room and
yes.
Yeah.
Can you give the details of that for those who don't know?
Brandon Gomes, the general manager of the team, was asked about it later, and he basically said, "I have nothing to say about any of this." Like he followed the rules. Like he understands that. Is it a silly ask? Perhaps, but who cares? If that's what the man wants, I'm going to give the man what he wants. We desperately want him. This is, hey, can you not? I'm a Pepsi guy. Can you not have any Coca-Cola at our meeting? What's the difference? I'll just bring Coke. You're not listening to me. You're not giving me what I'm asking for. Is it silly? Yeah. But you're not listening. And that the Dodgers immediately went in and kind of formed a little semicircle around Dave as he came off with the brass like, and it was kind of, dude, what don't you get about this? This guy gets to call all the shots.
So you have the GM, Andrew Friedman. What was his?
Brandon Gomes was the one that quasi spoke on the record, like, yeah, I'm not talking about Shohei. Like, we're not doing any of that, and kind of like not eye rolled, but just one of these. I can't believe that I have to deal with this now.
It's funny because as this was all unfolding, and this was all kind of just happening, and now I'm listening to the whole thing. One of the first things I did, I texted you. I'm like, all right, then I'm just gonna assume that Shohei has already told Dave Roberts and the Dodgers, hey, I'm coming. Because why?
Could be.
If all we've sat here for, and we could do this coming up next, but all we've sat here is sat and talked about how, okay, if this man, I'm going to go back to what you were saying, respect that he doesn't want you to say anything. He spent 15 minutes talking about Shohei Ohtani.
He talked a lot this week about things that, upon further review, maybe you just kind of keep under your hat.
Yeah, my action when I saw that Dave Roberts, I was like, that is that Dave Roberts was not thinking. Dave Roberts made a mistake, not that they already had it in the bag. I thought that this is a colossal mistake, and that maybe there's a disconnect between Dave Roberts and the front office.
I'm not trying to be mean. I'm really not. You can't be that stupid.
Oh, wrong
You can
again.
be. There's a possibility to be that
wrong
stupid.
Again.
Yes.
People do dumb stuff. Really smart people do really dumb things.
So the dumb stuff would have been, did you meet with Shohei Ohtani? And he says yes. And then it's like, oh my God, why did I just say that? I shouldn't have said that. The guy kept going and
people
going
do dumb
and
things
going
all the
and
time.
going and going. I mean, this thing wouldn't. You know what this is like? Lance Lynn giving up how many home runs in a row? No, listen. But I mean it. I know
How dare
people.
you bring up Lance Lynn?
I know people do dumb stuff, but when you make a mistake and it's like, oh my God, how
Not
could I be
always.
so dumb and not catch myself?
Sometimes it's not until you've walked out of the room, you're like, and everybody's looking at you like,
and someone tells you
right,
you're dumb.
But he kept saying some of the questions from the reporters was like, hey, I thought, you guys don't talk about this. Well, I want to be honest. I want to be honest to you guys. I want to be this. I'm like, wait a minute. How many times have sports people been dishonest to reporters because they don't want to give out any info.
But that thing where you walk out of it like, I thought that went great, and everybody's looking at you like, dude, you just burned the deal to the ground. What are you doing?
Or it's a done
Is this
deal.
a bigger thing between the front office and Dave Roberts? We should talk about this next because it might just be a symptom of a long-running issue.
He's talking a lot, and all of it is, none of it's a huge deal, but none of it's a zero deal either. We'll do it next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN. Bull season, basketball, hockey, and pro football, all in action, right? And Vivid Seats has it all for you and your ticket gifting needs this holiday season. See every one-timer, every touchdown, and every slam dunk live and in person with great deals on great seats. Plus, the Vivid Seats rewards, you can earn rewards with every purchase. They're here for us fans, offering unbeatable rewards like surprise seat upgrades, free tickets, and annual birthday discounts, and a lot more. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN. Don't tell anybody my favorite color's blue, Al. It's a secret between the two of us. Oof. And if you do, then I'm going to go sign with the, I don't know, ESPN station in Topeka, Kansas. Then I'm going to go take my talents elsewhere.
I would never say that. Now, if Jorge asked me what your favorite color was, I will give him every detail possible.
Yeah, it's one of those deals that, do I think, let's go to the very beginning of this. Do I think this is the difference between them getting or not getting him? I don't. I don't think that this is going to be the thing that Shohei Ohtani had the pen in his hand. He's getting ready to write his signature on the dotted line.
Yep.
And his agent said, Dave just said that they met, and he tore the contract up and signed the one with the Blue Jays. I don't think that's what's happening here. But what I think is fascinating about all of this is why tempt fate? If somebody asks you for something, and this isn't a equitable negotiation, right? This isn't a, You need me. I need you. Let's come to an agreement.
Can I say it's the
Ohtani
closest?
has every card.
He
in the
has
deck.
every card, but it is the closest, I think, to Shohei. You also want what we have. We are in a big market. We are a franchise that wins almost every single. You know, we're going to be in the playoffs every year now. Between Freddie and Mookie, we might go 1 for 21 or 1 for 22.
You're assuming that's what he wants. We don't know what he wants. Mm-hmm. Nobody knows what he wants.
Well, but
the only thing we know for sure is, hey, can you just keep it between us?
What I'm saying,
tell everybody we met.
What I'm saying
weird.
is, it is weird. Can I read a couple of the quotes here? Because one of the biggest stories coming out of ESPN yesterday was the fact that Dave Roberts talked so much about Shohei. So that was 2 to 3 hours. I'm going to read some of the quotes here. Shohei's our top priority, clearly. We met with Shohei. He's going to do what's best for himself when he feels most comfortable. There's so many quotes. It's not like it was one thing that we're going to – he has a very good poker face. I think he was smiling inside. Definitely doesn't. I think he was smiling inside, but I was just happy to spend time with him. We all were. My brother, this is not like one quote. This article is so long from ESPN because there's 88 different quotes of him talking about Shohei. Can I throw out a scenario to you? And let's forget I was making a case how ridiculous this is. Okay, let's put that to the side, is what it is. Let's say Shohei decides, for his own reasons, I'm going to go play for the Toronto Blue Jays. You know what? That's a team that's winning 90-plus games for these last 3 years. They're a team that
Toronto,
whatever it is, right? It's Toronto is a very vibrant
city,
cosmopolitan, and it's got an incredible diversity, everything else that you want to say. Okay, let's say he signed with the Toronto Blue Jays. What do you think people in LA, who, by the way, already, you and I were talking about this right after they lost the series against the Arizona Diamondbacks. It was just fire Dave because you just feel like you need to do something different. What becomes the conversation here locally in LA about Dave Roberts? That's another part of this, that if he did sign somewhere else, there's the disappointment. And then there's also did he sign somewhere else because this guy just went on a 2-hour documentary about his meeting with Shohei?
We'll never know what it is because Ohtani doesn't talk. He hasn't talked in 4 months. He didn't want people to know the name of his dog, right? These are the sort. Is that a weird request? Yeah, but when you're dealing with a person like Ohtani, who has the talent that Ohtani has, who could really, truly be the difference between you going where you want to go or not.
The financial advantages of adding.
For sure. Mm-hmm. Why not give him what he needs? Now, I want to read a tweet here because I think this is important too. This is from Eddie Carrillo. Eddie writes, I really, 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 really want Shohei, but if Shohei says no to the Dodgers because Dave Roberts said the obvious, then good riddance. He never really wanted to be a Dodger in the first place. Enjoy your time missing the playoffs in Toronto or Anaheim. I think the essence of that is mostly true. That I don't think that him opening his mouth is going to make him change his mind from Dodgers to other. I think if he's leaning Dodgers, he probably still is, and that's not going to change his mind. But if what he's saying is true, I agree with Eddie. If that's the thing, if he's that temperamental, if he's that selfish, if he's that invested in the minutia of that kind of thing, I don't know if he's the talent may trump all of it.
Yeah.
It may be true, but this is, I really do think it's what I was saying earlier. This is one of those, I'm going to see if you follow my rules. I'm going to see if I can trust you. I'm just going to put it out there to see if you can follow a simple instruction. Is it stupid? Sure. Mm-hmm. But can you do it? Can I trust you? And he didn't. That's the part to me that I think it was. If it's genuinely, I wanted to come here, and I was on the 1 yard line and you talked and now I'm going, then you don't want that guy anyway. I believe both of those things can be true.
I have a difficult time with that one because I think if you don't want that guy anyway, I think that concept of, if he doesn't pick the Dodgers because of what Dave Roberts said, didn't he set everything up in advance of, let's just make sure nobody's really talking about any of this stuff.
Yep.
And I don't think the anger is going to go towards Shohei. I think the anger is going to go towards.
It definitely will.
But why would it?
No, to Dave. I'm with you.
I was going to say that the anger will go to Dave. Dave, why didn't you just keep your mouth shut?
I think that could be a sneaky, lucky break because the Dodger part that's busted, for lack of a better word, is unknowable. It's culture. It's intensity. It's one of these things. The Dodgers have a culture issue, and I can't quite put my finger on exactly what it is, but a guy that would flip his decision on that is not the guy that fixes that culture issue. He might fix the talent gap that you may or may not have,
or the clutch, or the
maybe. But if your problem is, hey, these pieces just don't kind of jive the way we need them to, and a guy that's that individualistic, I don't think that fixes that problem.
It's like adding Aaron Rodgers to a team that already has culture issues. It's like it's not really gonna help anything.
I don't believe anybody that will make any excuse. The only excuses that are going to come is if Shohei signs somewhere else, and then people are going to say, well, we didn't want him anyways, and if that's how he's going to be, I don't believe any of them.
I don't think so. What if Ohtani said, look, guys, that had nothing to do with it. I was going to Toronto all along, took meetings with everybody. I really liked the Dodgers. I like Dave. I had no problem with it. I was going to Toronto. Does that take the pressure off?
Some off of Dave? Yeah. No, I think people just want to bitch and complain.
I think so too.
They want to bitch and complain because you're not winning. You're so successful in the regular season and you struggle so much in the playoffs. And then I think there's an added element because it is Dave Roberts and they complain against him.
I just keep coming back to the same thing. Is it a big deal? No. But why take the damn chance?
Right.
That's where I keep coming back to it.
And let me paint this picture. Maybe this is a reason why Ohtani would be more likely to go back to Anaheim. Okay, so this is his first time testing these free agency waters since he came to the Major League Baseball. And all we're seeing is these big articles like, it's not good for baseball. Ohtani's this, Ohtani's that. He's the center of everybody's mind. He's been the center of everyone's mind for a while, but he's more at the front lines of getting hit by criticism from the media generation. But if you're the Angels, you say, hey, come over here. When you're with us, you can stay quiet. Only the things that you wanted out
we
got
never
out.
Opened our mouth
we
once.
Shut up. We will give you your own program.
I think that goes back to what Travis said is where he signs will also tell a lot about what his priorities are.
Sure.
Right? And I think you can make a case. If he signed with the Toronto Blue Jays, he wants to win too. Like I don't think you're saying, well, he signed with the Blue Jays. I think I heard Rosenthal saying this yesterday in a podcast, and it was really tough to listen to because you remember the whole Scherzer situation. No, I'm just kidding. But it was basically what he said is the only place he can sign where I think people turn on Shohei a little bit is if he re-signed with the Angels because now it's, clearly winning was not the priority.
He might not care. He might only care about
and that's my point,
Ohtani.
Is we're going to figure out what he is based on his decision
And
here.
Again, if he values privacy, if he values to be able to be pushed aside, only have his own accomplishments highlighted, then Ohtani in Angels uniform is a good idea for him because if he goes to the Dodgers, you're going to be competing with Freddie and Mookie and the Dodgers for this kind of celebration.
I'm with you to like the 1 yard line on that. I think you're on to something here, and I don't think this is true, but it's possibly true. The Angel pitch is different now. The Angel pitch is, look, you know that the Dodgers can't keep their mouth shut. They just proved it to you that they can't. So far, the Blue Jays, they've been pretty chill. They've kind of done what you need to do.
They've had some leaks.
But we know they met in.
You know. We don't say anything. You've been here 6 years. Now, one thing that you want out, got out, or didn't want out, got out. You can trust us to be quiet, to follow your rules. You know that we leave you on your own program whenever you want. And if you value that more than anything else, come on home.
We will worship the ground that you walk on.
Whatever you want, we will do.
I really walked away after listening to every detail of the Dodgers Shohei meeting yesterday. Every detail. It was like a leaked insider, but it was Dave Roberts, their manager. I really did walk away saying, okay, well, if the three teams, because they're basically saying it's a 3-horse race right now.
Sounds like it.
The Blue Jays, it's the Dodgers, and the Angels. I didn't walk away yesterday. I actually felt like, and I think I texted you this, I really, really believe now that he's going to be a Dodger. A, because of the teams that are left, and B, because Dave Roberts, I just can't figure out
in the enthusiasm of it all.
I just can't figure out why you would leak so much information when it was clearly asked. Well, appreciate that you keep this on the down low.
Dave's been chatty in Nashville. Maybe there's a particular chicken sandwich he likes that makes him talkative or something. I don't know, but
sauce.
The hot sauce has got his brain because
hot sauce could screw you up.
I was talking with somebody this morning that knows things, and they pointed out something I had not thought of this.
Okay.
The whole Mookie's our second baseman. He's our everyday second baseman. Okay. The decision of where to play him, fine. Play him wherever you want. Why do you have to say that right now?
Do you want it in spring training?
That
after
let's free agency go by the board.
That's what I was going to say. Let the dust settle.
Let all the trades go by because the Dodgers are very clearly trying to. There's no future for Miguel Vargas at second base on this team. There's no future for Michael Bush at second base.
Saying takes away the value of those players if you put together a deal.
I'm let's say, I don't know, the Milwaukee Brewers.
Okay.
And we're trying to work out a deal for Corbin Burns and Willie Adames. And the jewels that I'm sitting here are Michael Bush or Miguel Vargas. I'm like, well, you're telling me they're not even good enough to play for you. Why do I want those guys? Right? Maybe there's a free agent out there who thought, you know what, I can get 400 at-bats at second base with the Dodgers. Well, not anymore. Mookie Betts is there. Why say it? I'm not saying you can't do it, but why say it?
Or why say it now? Wait till spring training.
Dude, somebody gag them.
That's when those.
Somebody just say, Dave Roberts will no longer be available during the winter meetings. We will let you. With day one of spring training is February 2nd. You can talk to him.
Did you ever get those when you were a kid, and you'd have? All right, I know we got to go break here. You ever have the? You got like the older cousins, and they're playing video games, and they gave you the controller that's unplugged. Just unplug Dave's mic.
Factor Caps coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN. Hey, if you get hurt in an accident, Sweet James. You know that by now, right? 1-800-9-MILLION. 1-800-900-0000. Because Sweet James has been awarded best attorneys in America. Best, right? Not kind of the best, one of the best attorneys in America. Personal injury, it's all they do. Decades of experience, right? Decades of experience knowing what the insurance company is trying to get done and not letting them happen. Making sure that you get what you're entitled to, that the car gets fixed, that the medical expenses are covered, and most importantly, that settlement. Guess who else knows that? The insurance companies. They know that Sweet James isn't taking any settlement. They're only taking the right settlement. And if not, you got to go to trial, and that's where Sweet James absolutely dominates. Over 500 trials under their belt with a 98% winning percentage. So what are we doing here? Why would you call anybody else? 1-800-9-MILLION. The call I've made, call my friends have made, call my family members have made. If you're hurt in a car, truck, or motorcycle accident, call the attorneys at Sweet James. 1-800-9-MILLION and sweetjames.com.
The 12 Days of 710. Hi, this is Michelle Smallman, host of the new ESPN radio morning show, Unsportsmanlike. Heard weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. right here on 710. It's that time of year, time for the season of winning on 710. Just listen for me to give you the cue to call. When you hear it, be caller number 7 at 877-710-ESPN, and you get to pick a holiday gift box in the 710 studio. Will it be the Travis box, the Sliwa box, Mason, Ireland, the Sedano box, or Cappy? Each box could have a fabulous prize for you to win.
At In-N-Out, our hamburgers are made with the highest quality ingredients. Made fresh and by hand. Made with a smile to put a smile on your face. Made for special occasions or no occasion at all. Made with gratitude for every customer we get to serve. Most of all, every hamburger, cheeseburger, and double-double is made to order just for you.
That's what
I got so many gifts for me. I should get me a Thank Me card. Now your top reasons to visit Morongo.
Get a free appetizer with purchase of an entree at Seattle.
The black and gold are heading to the MLS Cup Final again.
That's it, it's over. LAFC are going back to the MLS Cup Final. They are the Western Conference champions.
The reigning MLS Cup champs LAFC will defend their title as the run for the repeat just got real. It's LAFC versus Columbus Crew in the 2023 MLS Cup Final. Coverage starts Saturday at noon on 710 ESPN and the ESPN LA app.
thought this is what the front office for the Dodgers should do to Dave Roberts after what he said yesterday?
Corporate needs you to find the differences between this picture and this picture. Intel has told us there are at least 7.
Okay, I already see one. Give him. Okay.
They're the same picture.
They're just going to keep Dave occupied. You know, let him do his own thing so he doesn't ruin anything.
I think Al's right. I think what happened is, if I had to speculate, I think he knows they're really close.
Yeah.
And I think that the excitement of the moment kind of got him. Now, you can argue he should know better. He should. I know for a fact.
Nothing's done until
it's done, it's never done. Right?
Maybe it is.
It's done. Maybe it is.
Maybe that ink got signed in that 3-hour meeting at Dodger Stadium.
Maybe it did.
Yep.
But I also know that sometimes people do really dumb stuff that are pretty smart otherwise. And I know for a fact there were people in that organization that were like, yeah, we don't know what the hell that was. I know that as a fact to be true.
Maybe Dave was sending a message to Shohei saying, you already signed.
Yeah.
I could say whatever I want, brother.
All right, so, Travis, I know that you're a big fan of High School Musical because your kids watched it
We're
when they were growing up.
in this together.
Exactly. So you're familiar with Vanessa Hudgens. Vanessa Hudgens was the star of High School Musical. She's been in movies and such since. But she just got married to Cole Tucker, who is the baseball player for the Pirates. He's 27. She's 34. So 27, he's the same age as me. So that means that he grew up watching Vanessa Hudgens on High School Musical. It was so hard to avoid it.
Good for him.
Even if he was, not a huge Disney fan, you can't avoid High School Musical.
He was ubiquitous.
The most badass move that could happen would be marrying your high school celebrity crush. Travis, fact or cat?
Fact. Right? I mean, that's just, I'm trying to think of the girls when I was, in junior high or whatever.
Kelly Kapowski,
Phoebe Cates, Elizabeth Shue, like these women that were in these movies or TV shows that you were just, oh my God, she's beautiful, or all these things. To actually end up with that person is pretty damn awesome.
Accomplish your dreams and get your dream girl.
Pretty good.
Al?
Yeah, it's pretty baller. It's pretty baller. Do you guys remember, Jorge, you might remember, you'll remember this. You guys remember Topanga from Boy Meets World?
Oh, yeah.
I thought she
That's
was.
actually Lady Slee.
There you go. I thought she was like the cutest girl,
Yeah, she was great.
And at that age, you're like, oh my God, this girl, she's so cute. To think that you end up with her, just the she's on TV, this is the person, that's pretty baller right there.
Jorge?
Baller move, Alex Rodriguez. I remember he called it when he was coming to the league. Hey, who's your crush? He's like J-Lo, and then they ended up dating. I would do it too.
Didn't work out though.
Especially, look, I'm taking nothing off of Vanessa Hudgens' play. She's had a great career. You're talking about a series of movies that were wildly popular.
Yeah.
But J-Lo, my God.
Another level.
Come on.
Another level. Vanessa Hudgens is not really the A-list star anymore.
J-Lo is she's the A+ of the A+s.
Yeah. So tonight I'm going to go see Godzilla -1. I've been hearing amazing things about it. I'm super excited. It's a Japanese movie, reimagining of the Godzilla, monster. Got me thinking. Godzilla is the most fearsome monster. Think of all the fictional big monsters. Godzilla is the most fearsome. Al, after Cap.
I'll go Cap. I think the thing... Is AI a monster?
No. I'm talking about these fictional
AI sounds monstrous
monsters.
to me. That one doesn't do it for me. And I'm trying to think if there's, Jaws. Like, there's other movies out there. Or some of these...
I mean, sharks exist.
Yeah, but taken to a different level, I guess you can say. It's Cap. It's clearly not. Out of all of them, I don't think that one is. I'm trying to think if there's one specific. I thought AI is kind of monster.
I'm saying if Snap today, one of these fictional monsters was real, which would be the one that you don't want to face?
Yeah.
Trav, Fat or Cap?
Dragon.
I think
Any type of dragon, too.
I think it's Cap. Godzilla's pretty scary, but I feel like I could avoid Godzilla if I needed to, right? That King Kong's pretty scary, but I'm not Jessica Lange or on top of the Empire State Building, so I feel like I'm safe right there. The one there's like a Saturday morning monster movie show when I was a kid, and there was the Blob, and the Blob was just, it looked like a can of jelly that had been spilled on the ground, but everything it touched, it consumed. So if it touches this coffee cup, it's this much bigger. If it touches this tripod, it's that much bigger, and it just keeps getting bigger and everything. And it's unstoppable. It can go under doors. It can go. You can't get away. It moves really slow, so you can keep it at bay for a while. But the Blob messed me up. I'm going with the Blob.
Jorge?
I think I'm going to go with aliens on this one.
Oh, that's good.
We have all
that's
kinds
good.
of speculations
Those are real, by the
about
way.
what they're going to exactly. They found them in Peru, and then the Mexican press released it like Dave Roberts said.
Okay,
Don't say
sure.
nothing, but the Mexican press says, hey, we have them.
Check this
out. So I think aliens. Aliens is the one for me.
Especially from the movie. Yeah.
I think I would be very scared of Godzilla. I think I'm scared of anything like big like that.
Random question.
Yeah.
Is Godzilla minus like your classic Godzilla movie?
It's supposed to be kind of like thinly veiled political commentary.
Okay.
But yeah, classic Godzilla.
So it comes out of the ocean, burns down the city, stomps on people.
I mean,
running
I don't know.
away.
I haven't seen it yet.
Okay,
So
but
that's kind of the.
Godzilla
But it has a
movie.
political side that he chooses.
He only
in the middle of
stomps certain things.
I mean,
certain buildings.
Why was Godzilla created? Oh, maybe because certain things happened to the Japanese people that caused this thing. Anyway, Oppenheimer. So today's the anniversary. On this day in 1992 was when To Grandmother's House We Go was premiered. Who can forget? It is my childhood favorite movie. It is a movie between Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen with Rhea Perlman in it as like the villain.
Carla from Cheers.
Yes, Carla from Cheers. It is a movie that my sisters and I quote all the time to each other.
What's the name of it?
To Grandmother's House We Go.
Okay.
And so
I've never seen it. Yeah.
I've asked people who are even my same generation. They have no idea what I'm talking about. I feel like this movie only existed to me and my sisters, and that we quote it back and forth to each other. But
there's movies that are direct to video, Slee. This was just direct to Hebel.
Yes, exactly.
It just went straight into your home.
Love that movie. Shouts out to that movie. But you have an inside joke with you and your siblings. Jorge, Fat or Cat?
No, not really. No, me and my brother hardly talk. Randy's just a 14-year-old, 17-year-old now.
Yeah.
Nah, not really. We're not really that close either.
Trev?
I don't even know if my brother would remember this, but I remember it. There was this song when we were kids, so this is late 70s, early 80s, and I wish I could remember the name of it.
Yeah, I thought it was the 20s.
It's that doot 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 doot. Anyway, whatever. It was a popular song, and it would come on the radio occasionally. And whenever it was on in the car with my folks, or you'd hear it on the radio in the house, my brother and I would go crazy and start running around and like tackling each other. And it's a stupid little song. But
and this was over Thanksgiving?
If it had come on, I would have remembered it for sure. I don't know if
That's
my brother.
your coma song.
Yeah, I don't know if my brother would have remembered it or not, but
Yeah.
I certainly do.
Al?
Cap, I don't have inside jokes with my sisters, but that was something that with friends or my cousin Slee, right? Like, and they're not even things that I could even tell you that, oh, it's this, and this. We just always had some kind of connection. It's like a weird connection. I don't have a brother, so that might be, okay, that's the closest thing everybody, or your best friend or something along those lines. Not with my sisters, but more with cousins and friends.
Oh, well, that's it for Fat or Cap. Travis, you want to read the tease?
I've read it. Do you want me to read it out loud?
Yeah, read the tease.
Emily was right.
Oh, wow.
That's next. Travis Lee, 710 ESPN. Next Gen, the official AC heat and plumbing company of SoCal sports fans. That's right. Next Gen, absolute best in the biz. Thousands of 5-star reviews online to prove it. You got all your 5-star reviews. Plus, here's my review. Guys came out, they killed it. They absolutely took care of exactly what I needed. They gave me the full 28-point, full heat and AC safety inspection and tune-up, and it's just $44, limited only through December 30th. That's right, $44 to ensure that your system stays running strong all year long, and they're going to throw in a free air filter as well at no extra charge. And think about it, today, kind of cold this morning, right? Maybe you got the heat going on in your house. 2 weeks from now, you're going to be surprised if you have to throw on the air conditioning? Probably not. That's SoCal. That's why you got to make sure that your system is at its absolute best for just $44. Call 833-3-NEXTGEN. That's 833-3-NEXGEN. And if you're concerned about the air quality in your house or you've got some allergy issues, call NextGen and breathe easy with indoor air quality solutions to fit any budget. 833-3NEXTGEN. That's 833-3NEXGEN, or visit nextgenaaronplumbing.com to schedule online.
Check out
Zilla is the most fearsome monster out there, so we have some suggestions of some other fearsome monsters. So you guys Lord of the Rings guys at all? Have you guys ever watched Lord of the Rings?
Let me ask you a question.
Do I look like No. I would not assume that you've seen Lord of the Rings. Alan, have you seen Lord of the Rings?
I saw the first one, but I don't know. I don't have too much knowledge on the Lord of the Rings world.
Smaug, which is Sauron's dragon. You know Sauron,
I think
right,
I had
Trav?
smog when I was a kid. You get it in your lungs, and you got to give it to you on a
That's right.
vaporizer.
No, then you gotta.
AUG. The Smaug, the
Gotta get
dragon.
your-
There's also the Cloverfield monster.
Inspected.
That's pretty scary.
Oh, is that the machine-looking one?
Yeah, it's like a machine alien.
Okay,
looking one,
I think I know that one.
Which again,
Yeah.
like in the posters for Cloverfield, they just give away the monster anyway, and then
think I
also
liked
the
that movie.
mist. The
Oh
mist.
yes, like that's the mist is the mist. By the way, and the blob, same thing. It's the same thing.
The mist though, has like a tentacle, like squid-like thing inside of it. Do you know what?
Yeah, so does the blob.
Yeah.
The blob consumes you.
Right,
Right. The
yeah.
mist. Maybe it doesn't have like a hidden beak like an octopus or anything, but
But it has insects, it's by the way, The Mist, that movie, has the most effed up ending of all time, I feel
I
like.
don't know if I know that one.
Then I won't reveal it.
Okay. Would you like to tell everybody what you were right about, or would you like me to
What
do
I
it?
was right about was that the Rams made a pretty big mistake, I felt, letting go of a consistent, very good kicker, because it's very hard to find those in the league. And once you have them, you should keep them. So they let go of Matt Gay, let him go to the Colts. He was going to get paid a lot of money. They didn't want to pay him a lot of money. Then they got Brett Maher, sucked, was a bum. And then you got, what's his last guy? Haversick?
Luke Haversick.
Also bum. Sorry, Luke, if you're listening.
So local. He's a Corona High School kid. Got the guy a break.
And then now they have signed veteran kicker Mason Crosby. He used to kick for the Packers.
Forever. Right? Like he was their guy, and he was one of those guys that when he trotted on the field, you're pretty sure he was
incredibly
gonna make
consistent.
one.
Someone you can count on. Steelers have had Chris Boswell for, I want to say, 8 or 9 years. And every time he goes up to kick a field goal, I am confident it will go in. Doesn't always happen, but I am confident. And that's something you can't.
Can I say one thing on the Matt Gay thing? I think this is probably going to go back to what the expectations were coming into this season.
For sure.
And I couldn't agree more. Valuing a kicker, any good NFL team that's got a legitimate chance to go win a Super Bowl, typically you're assuming that the kicker is someone that they can depend on and rely on. Trav, I don't know if you think this, but there's probably a good chance the reason why Matt Gay is not a part of the Rams is I don't think the Rams saw themselves at 6-6 through 12 games in a shot to go make the playoffs. And I think the big news for me, the fact that they went out and addressed this situation, nobody's saying that that now all of a sudden your kicking woes are gone and it's not going to be an issue moving forward. But the first thing that went through my mind was, they think they got a shot to make the playoffs. And they also know what they can't have happen is Matt Stafford does everything he can. Puka does everything that he does. Aaron Donald's doing it. Sean McVay's maybe one of his better coaching years that he's had as part of his career. And this thing comes down to not making the playoffs because you don't have a reliable kicker. That's the first thing that came to my mind when I saw the news.
I think you're spot on. Look, I've said this before. Don't go by what people tell you. Go by what they do, right? And what the Rams did the entire offseason last year and through the first half of this season is not much, right? And I'm just talking about personnel moves. They let a lot of really talented players leave. Jalen Ramsey, Bobby Wagner, Ashawn Robinson, Gray. Let a lot of talent leave, and they didn't bring in any proven NFL talent with a couple of Killer Witherspoon, Kevin Dotson, but pretty low stakes kind of stuff.
Let's go draft and develop.
Right? They let Matt Gay go because he got a nice contract from the Colts, and it's like, yep, go ahead, buddy. They did not know what this year was going to look like. It was hey, let's just start to play and see what it looks like. And it looked like it was 3-6 for a while. Brett Rippon was so bad they had no choice but to make a move there. Then all of a sudden they start to win a few games. And now it's gotten to the point where you're saying, Slee, it's 6-6. And what they have to do is fix the most glaring Achilles heel that this team has, and that is they have a kicker that is completely unreliable. What they couldn't do is look Aaron Donald in the face, look Puka Nacua in the face, look, Alaric Jackson in the face, and say, we're going to go into New York with a chance to go to the playoffs, and we're going to put the entire season on the line of a kid that has never kicked in the NFL until 3 weeks ago. And by the way, when he's been with us, he hasn't been very good. You can't do that. You can't do that to the other 52 guys on the team. You need to have somebody in there that everybody feels pretty good about. Mm-hmm. For your fans, too, as well, for sure. And they addressed it. Don't listen to what they've been saying they've been in it from the beginning of the season, or we're going to take a shot, we're not rebuilding. They clearly were. But the rebuild just got accelerated to the point where, hey, there's 5 games left. We're in this thing. Mason Crosby's available. It's not super expensive at this point. That's clearly our week. Yeah, go get him. Mm-hmm. They believe they have a chance. And what you said, I couldn't agree with more. Whatever happens in Baltimore happens in Baltimore. But what if let's say they lose in Baltimore? You beat Washington. You beat New Orleans. Now, really, you just got to beat the Giants in New York City. You're in a really good shape. Here comes a 36-yard field goal. You're down by 1. The game is you just got a chip shot little field goal, and Luke Haversick misses that field goal. You gonna be all right with that?
ESPN.
So, I don't know if you guys saw this, but we're in the break, right? And I'm just kind of trying to mind my own business here, doing my own work. I look at the side of my eye, or side, just on the side here. And the guy that Travis has let in every single time with his phone, granted, there's UPS people that come, FedEx people that come. He never lets in. But this guy restocks the vending machine. Trav always lets him in through his phone. I look. Trav's now opening the front door for him.
You walk past him.
I saw a handshake there.
What'd you say to him?
For the first time.
I saw a handshake. I see this like interaction that I don't see with anybody else at the office. It's like a different type of interaction.
If there was anybody here that was constantly restocking salty snacks, I'd be excited for them too.
I didn't think you were coming back. I thought you were helping him stock the shelves.
I stopped by. I saw him. I didn't see him on my way there. I saw him on my way back, and I stopped and I physically pulled the door open. And I said, "Hey, I get to let you in with my own two hands." So he looked like, "What?" Like, never mind. And I walked back to the studio. Like, yeah, it means
with your head down, shoulders shrugged.
It means more to me than it does to you. It's fine. Look, there's going to be all the things that we need. Like we talked about with Laura earlier today on Ask Laura. We got our hot Cheetos. We got all the things that you need. Why can you eat 400 pounds of hot Cheetos and just look?
I think chips in general.
I'm also not a hot Cheeto person. I'm a regular crunchy
classic
Cheeto gal.
What about Puffs versus crunchy?
Always crunchy for me.
Would you eat the Puffs?
I would eat the Puffs. I'm
Me
not
too.
gonna like
Crunchy
put them
better.
away.
I'm with you on crunchy better.
Also, the only place that like comes even close to mimicking a Cheeto is the Trader Joe's crunchy
with lime
cheese
in it?
curl, cheese things, whatever.
It might be my biggest weakness is chips in general. Like
chips with a little tapatio, bro.
But like
Game changer.
just think about this. Can you have actually Cheez-Its fall into this as well?
Cheez-Its are good.
Can you just the salty, the crunch, can you just take yours? I'm gonna have a handful of these, put them in a bowl, and that's all I'm gonna have.
Yeah.
And 8 feet away is the rest of the bag. I can't do that.
If I do put them in a bowl,
to put them at the neighbor's house.
If I put them in a bowl, I got a fighting chance. The problem is if I take the bag to the chair with me, the bag is gone. There's no plan B.
If I put them in a
like,
bowl,
snack
it's
size.
oversized, and then I keep going.
I always get, how you can buy the big snack size that you use to pack kids' lunches. I'll get that, so I eat
individual
a serving
bags.
or whatever. And
Very
that's it.
smart.
But when I use,
till you open 3 bags of them.
I usually don't. So I use whenever I use a substance that is legal in California, I always go after Cheetos. If there are Cheetos in my house, they are getting destroyed.
It's a good choice.
I feel like the market for that substance, Cheetos and that substance, have merged together to create an unbelievable corporation.
You ever looked at fast food commercials late at night?
Yeah, Jack in the Box all the time.
They're not the only ones. They're at the cutting edge.
They're
of
the
it,
ones
but
that they're called Munchie Meal,
fourth
whatever
meal.
it is.
Fourth meal too.
Yeah.
Maybe that's Taco Bell.
Taco Bell
Emily,
and Jack in the Box.
I want to go back to something you said. I feel like you and Susan are conspiring against me. Those Trader Joe's bootleg Cheetos are not the same thing.
They are. They're good.
Susan says
curls thing. Those are really good.
She says
Yeah.
the same thing. She's
They're
like,
good.
because
Very
Susan
good.
eats very healthy, but she loves those
'Cause they're baked.
right?
Yeah.
And she is. This is the same thing. I will go down. I will react to those Cheetos the way you reacted to Florida State getting into the Final Four. I will
Right.
fight those things.
You don't like them?
And don't eat them.
They're fine, but they're not Cheetos. They're not an acceptable replacement for Cheetos.
For me and Susan.
But I don't think. Yes, they're not a replace. There's a lot of items at Trader Joe's that are saying, "Hey, look, this is our version of it." They're not
It's
saying that
all
they're
they
them.
have. They don't have any other products besides Trader Joe's.
You know what it's like?
Do you ever
It's-
had those plantain chips from Trader
I
Joe's?
don't like bananas. I can't.
Also
do
don't
that.
like plantains. So.
Yeah.
Those are so good.
It's like
Portos,
saying,
portos.
well, it's close enough. It's like, look, here's a Mercedes. This is a Yugo. They're both cars. It's all good. No, they're in the same general.
Is it like saying in-season tournament in the playoffs?
Yes,
They're generally the same. They have juice to both.
Exactly, but there's a distinct and important distinction between the two. I will die on this.
I know
one.
you are. No.
I will.
No, we know.
I will not let this go.
Going down
unchallenged.
with a ship on.
I'll bring you some on Sunday.
Where do you keep the Tapatio? I looked for it all day the other day. Where is
Oh,
it?
Oh, don't
yeah.
worry about it, my man. It's in my locker.
Oh, okay.
Hey.
I saw that going down. I saw him he's kind of frantic too. I was in there in the kitchen.
That's right. You were
in
there.
Yeah, you were just like opening every drawer. I'm like, what is going on over here?
And you tapatio, shake it up, right? It's delicious. I got a sandwich from Starbucks, a little egg, sausage, and cheese one.
Got to get a little.
I wanted
a little hot sauce on there.
I tore the kitchen apart looking for it. I couldn't find it.
You know where I think he puts it? Under the sink. There's the Windex and the Clorox. He puts it behind there. He's like, nobody's going to look.
Nah, it's either in my locker or by the computer I sit in the back over there.
Okay.
It's somewhere around there.
All right.
But,
now I know.
Trav, you're talking about how the Rams are really good at building on the fly this season. What did you mean by that?
You want to move? You don't want to talk about chips anymore?
Nope.
What happened, Em? I
I'm
thought
done
we
with
were
chips.
having
Now
like
I can't talk about Rams. That was just that was so abrupt. I can't do it.
Yep.
I can't do it.
Let's
talk about the in-season tournament.
Say something about the Rams.
Okay, no more Rams. All right.
No,
I know what our Rams report's going to be today.
I'm with you, Em.
No,
Finish
by the
off
way,
what you said.
That was my most exciting part. I'm like, ooh, I know what I got.
Say it to my
Rams report
face
today. About what?
I don't know. The Rams thing.
No, they did the thing that I think, and this is not just a football thing. This is a sports thing. Realize when your time is up. Start to build it back up again. The Rams won the Super Bowl. It was 2 years ago. It feels like a lot longer than that. It was just 2 seasons ago that the Rams punched their ticket. They won the whole thing. They ran it back the next year, and you're kind of obligated to, right? Like if you win the Super Bowl, you're
not going to go, well, we're going to rebuild now. Of course not. You're going to defend your crown.
And it didn't go well. They won 5 games. They went 5-12. They had a ton of injuries. Team wasn't very good. Blah, 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 right?
Guys past their prime, sure.
A bunch of different things went wrong, and it was a bad season. Then they did the thing that I think is really hard to do. We're gonna start to shed some of our older players, our expensive older players in particular.
Turning the page.
We're gonna start to find young starters in places in the draft that they're hard to find, namely outside of the first couple of rounds. Rams found 5 starters in this draft. The Rams found a running back starter in Kyron Williams in the 5th round the year before. They're doing the hard part of finding starters through the draft that are cheap and sustainable.
And developing.
They didn't have to go through a 3-win season to do it. They're 6-6. I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs or not. I think the ESPN math projects them at like 42%, something like that. So, not quite a 50-50 shot, but a good shot.
Basically, they're saying they're going to stumble in one of those 3 games they have to win.
Might, but they also might get in. And they didn't have to tear it down to the studs. You didn't have to move Aaron Donald. You didn't have to move on from Matthew Stafford. You didn't have to fire a coach and come back with a new one, fire a general manager. The infrastructure that's in place for the Rams is rock solid, from the GM to the head coach to ownership to just the culture that's been built there. They never once tanked, gave up, thought that losing was okay. They developed their guys quicker than I think anybody thought. They're in a position quicker than I think anybody thought. They've got a full complement of draft picks coming up next year. They've got a lot of money to go spend. And really what we're talking about is one bad year last year, the year after a Super Bowl title, and this year that's kind of like, yeah, we'll see. That's the down period. That's as good as you can do that.
Do you know why it's okay? Do you know why they get the leash of saying, hey, you did this, now you could try this, and there's no real pressure on anybody? They cashed in that one. And I think that when you go back to, there were many games in that playoffs that you thought, Niners at one point, what did they take, a 10-point lead? The Super Bowl run, Niners had a 10-point lead.
I want to say in the 4th quarter.
The Tampa comeback, and you thought, oh my gosh, they're going to lose to Tampa. There were moments in the Super Bowl against the Cincinnati Bengals that you thought
look great.
They might not win this game. And I think that this also talks to what happens when you cash one in, is you get that leash as well. Like, even if we've had this conversation, I think we were having it more last year. Even if the Rams were bad for 3, 4, 5 years in a row, you would say, okay, well, at least they cash one in. But I don't think Les Snead, Sean McVey, ownership, Stan Kroenke, none of them are trying to say to themselves, you know what, we got one. That's it. We're good. We don't have if you could look at many other franchises out there, if they got a Super Bowl, if they got an NBA championship, it's like, no, you're good to go. I think what it's easy to forget is they were competitive for 5-6 years.
Uh-huh.
Then they cashed the Super Bowl. And then now, moving forward, you're looking at it and saying, okay, last year was a bad year for all the reasons that you said. It is impressive. The 6-6, the fact that that to me is the most impressive, is who you draft and who you're developing, because that also says that we have money to go spend, but we could still, we could still be smart about it. The money is not what we wave in front of everybody.
We're buying it. We're developing it and buying it. And they're developing it with late round draft picks, which is really hard to do. Byron Young, Kobe Turner, 3rd round picks. Puka Nacua, a 5th round pick. Ethan Evans, a 6th or a 7th round pick. Kyron Williams, a 5th round pick. Now, Steve Avila, 2nd round pick. You need to hit on that guy. And they did. Because they admit, Tutu Atwell, it didn't work out so great.
Listen, and we should point those out. But go look at every NFL team. They're making picks left and right. It doesn't mean it cashes in.
You're right, Al. But even let's say that last touchdown to Cooper Kupp in the Super Bowl was incomplete, and they lose the Super Bowl by a hair, right? The proof of concept is still there, right? They're in it. Now, maybe you didn't get the ultimate prize. That really stamps it. But the fact of the matter is, you can't look at Sean McVay and Les Snead and Kevin Demoff and Stan Kroenke and say, you know what they do? That doesn't work. It does. And it's been proven to work over a period of about 5 or 6 years. And it's continuing to show you that it's proven to work right now. One bad year. It's crazy.
It's also about knowing your window. And I think Les Snead knows not only the window that they have with these young guys, they realize, okay, these draft picks worked right now. Let's go and let's get these things around them. But also knowing that they have a window to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Saying, hey, we're going to get Carson Wentz. We're going to get Mason Crosby. And then we have the chance to maybe even, in a perfect world, win a playoff game. And that the windows are different. The windows are smaller or bigger.
You're right.
But Les knows it.
You know what's coming down the road? Maybe. The Rams and the Lions in the first round of the playoffs.
Would be amazing.
It would be amazing.
By the way, that's a great matchup.
It'd be a good
for
game.
The Rams. You get the Lions.
They can beat
in
the Lions.
First round.
They can beat the Lions.
Of course they can.
I don't know if they can beat the Eagles. I don't know if they can beat the 49ers.
Cowboys.
The Cowboys, yeah.
Even Cowboys, I would say. I think that
the Cowboys, though,
that could be a much more interesting matchup.
They'd have to get them deeper in the playoffs because they can't play them in the first round just because of wild cards. I guess the Cowboys could win the division. That could happen. But the NFL would love that. The Rams would love that. And I think if we're being 100% honest, Jared Goff probably would not love that.
Nope.
Right? That would be one of those really.
It would be, I better win.
Really?
Yeah.
But the pressure would be there of like, I have to win this game.
One the better team.
Yep.
We're at home.
Better record.
Got freaking traded.
Yes.
And then also Matthew
They
Stafford
won a Super
going
Bowl
to
without
Detroit,
me.
winning a playoff game he wasn't able to do in Detroit, and he can do it with the other team.
Good storyline.
Who do you think knows what Jared Goff is worst at the most?
Sean McVay.
Damn right. Right? Hey, if
this
you
poor guy.
Who's
Come on, I want to see Goff.
Who's
I want
the
to see Goff
guy
succeed.
that just knows what you're really not good at? Sean McVay.
Yeah, your
and
coach.
You just see him in his office cracking his knuckles like, let's go.
And
watch this.
And to the Les Snead window thing, it's like their window is Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay. As long as they have both of these and Matthew Stafford is able to be a competent quarterback, there is an opportunity for a window and just make things around it.
I'd flip it the other way. I'd say it's Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford, right? Because I want to see Sean McVay made Jared Goff a Super Bowl quarterback.
Right.
Okay.
I would reflip.
Yeah. But no, Sean McVay has taken Jared Goff to the Super Bowl. He won the Super Bowl with Matthew Stafford. He's 2 for 2, right? So let's see what it looks like with a draft pick, his draft pick, right?
Yeah, you couldn't make Brett Rippon look good, but who can?
Nobody can. Like there's a minimum level of competency that I need to have. Look pretty good under Sean McVay, Baker Mayfield. I'd love to see what it looks like with Carson Wentz. Not that you turn Baker Mayfield into, Patrick Mahomes, but you give him enough. He's on a new team every year. You never know. I think he's the number one piece, and then you slot him in after that. The Lakers are headed to Vegas. I've been all season long. I've been looking forward to the in-season tournament.
Nobody believed you.
Being one of the Final Four in Las Vegas, and here it is. That's next. It's Trav and Slee, 710 ESPN.
The 12 Days of 710.
It's Michelle Smallman and the 12 Days of 710. Be caller number 7 right now for your chance to win at 877-710-ESPN, and you get to pick a holiday gift box in the 710 studio. The season of winning on 710.
The most followed sports radio station in America.
710 ESPN.
At ESPN Los Angeles on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch.
LA's mega sports station.
710.
The Black and Gold are heading to the MLS Cup Final. again.
That's it. It's over. LAFC are going back to the MLS Cup Final. They are the Western Conference champions.
The reigning MLS Cup champs LAFC will defend their title as the run for the repeat just got real. It's LAFC versus Columbus Crew in the 2023 MLS Cup Final. Coverage starts Saturday at noon on 710 ESPN and the ESPN LA app.
All right, guys, it's officially back. Fifth Row Fridays presented by BBGO.
That's the official game day snack of the Lakers, by the way. And this is the best thing we give away. Fifth row seats to a Laker game. How many times do people come up to us and say, hey, give me Laker tickets? Yes. We don't have them. I don't even have them, but you can win them if you listen every day.
And these seats are better than the seats that you and Michael have, right?
15 rows better.
Yeah.
Michael and I are like row 20. So here's how you win. You listen every day to all the shows and take notes. If you can answer 5 questions about what happened on the show that day, you're eligible to win.
And don't forget, on Fridays, your chance to call in all 5 right answers, and you are in the fifth row at Crypto.com Arena for a Lakers game.
For free!
Smallman, host of the new ESPN radio morning show Unsportsmanlike, heard weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. right here on 710. The 12 days of 710.
We've got caller number 7 in the 12 days of 710.
And you get to pick a holiday gift box in the 710 studio. Will it be the Travis box, the Sliwa box, Mason, Ireland, Sedano box, or Cappy?
Pick a holiday box in the 710 studio.
All right, we have caller number 7 on the line for our 12 days of 710. It is Noe Magdaleno from Los Angeles. Noe, are you ready to pick a holiday box from the 710 studios?
I am, brother. Thank you.
Who do you pick? Do you pick the Travis box, the Sliwa box, the Mace Ireland box, the Sedano box, or the Cap box?
Let's go, my man, Alan Sliwa.
The Sliwa box.
The Sliwa box.
Here we go. Let's see what's inside the box. Congratulations. You win a Fantasy Springs prize pack. Gosh, I love Fantasy Springs. Fantasy Springs Resort Casino in the Palm Springs area, where new members who play $20 get $40 in free slot play. Join the club and let the winning begin. Visit FantasySpringsResort.com for more ways to win. The Fantasy Springs prize pack plus. We're going to throw in a gift card from our friends at Islands Restaurant. That's what's in the box, Jack.
All right, so you get the Fantasy
Thank
Springs Pies Pack plus the Islands gift card as well. Congratulations to you. And let me ask you a quick question, Noe. What station takes care of you during the season of winning?
710 ESPN, baby.
The 12 days of 710.
The 12 days of 710.
It's the season of winning on 710.
You got your box pick, Slee.
Bro, that was really good execution on your part.
You know
what that was? Listen, that was.
I know what you're doing now.
Evan Cohen level?
Listen, that was.
That's what you.
Nah, hell nah. That's not.
Blocking perfectly for that back to kind of just get through there. That's textbook right there.
You got your box picked.
Yeah, thank you, brother. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Little
Just wanted to say that again.
little package there for him. That's great.
That is good. And an Islands gift card. Fantasy Springs
And Islands
prize
gift
pack
card.
and an Islands gift
Damn
card.
right.
The Big Wave Burger. Just saying. Can't go wrong. Coldest beer in town.
Yeah, that's the thing you always get me with, which you're right on. The beer, just how many places do you go to and you grab a beer and you're like, I just think that's not cold enough.
Right. Just
it happens.
Just shy.
Just shy,
it's
right?
It's cool. It's not cold.
Doesn't happen at Islands.
No. Well, they keep the mugs in the freezer and they take it out, and sometimes there's still that ice chip on the bottom of them. It's tremendous.
Yeah, it's good.
You really can't
That's
go
good.
wrong. Lakers win last night. You were in the house, and it had juice. I'm trying to get enthusiastic about the tournament. I liked last night because you had two pretty darn good teams playing at a high level, competing. That the Lakers get to go to Vegas. That's cool. Like, that's fine. But it was just a really good, fun game to watch last night.
Yeah, I think if you're the NBA and you were looking for, can we find a way to make regular season games a little bit more interesting? Or how about this? Can we just create some chatter around the NBA? The NBA has done such a good job. I'm going to use baseball as a good example of this.
Sandwiches.
Was it Ike's?
I think so.
Okay. I'm going to use
just
baseball.
wave like food in front of you every so often.
No,
just
but
to
here's the
distract
thing. You only see the food here. He hears and smells the food. That was when they pull in.
My spidey sense was tingling.
Yeah. But baseball, what's the criticism right now in baseball? The criticism is, oh my gosh, there's just not enough movement. Why can't you guys do this the way the NBA does? Why isn't this? Why isn't that? I think if the NBA, it's not the biggest sport in NFL is king. I get that. But damn if the NBA does a good job of creating buzz around the trade deadline.
Sure.
Creating buzz around free agency. Creating buzz, the schedule is going to get released. Like, there's small things and big things that I think the NBA does a good job of. Do you know what the NBA's problem is?
Their regular season is irrelevant.
When football is going on and college football playoffs and the conference championships and all this stuff going on, how do you compete with that? And I think at the very least, Trav, so you said if you're admitting, hey, I felt like there was a little bit more of a buzz than there would be in a game on December 5th, I think mission accomplished, right? Like, I genuinely believe that. There are 2 games tomorrow, just 2. There was 2 yesterday. These are in-season, quarterfinal, in-season, now semifinal that's in Vegas. It just added something that wasn't there before. Whether you think it's the greatest thing in the world or not, you can't mimic a playoff game. But I think you can mimic as best as you can something that's a little bit more than just a regular season game.
It's better. It was better
It's a
than
good way
a
to put it.
normal, December game on a Tuesday night last year. It was better. It just – and I don't know if it was just better because the tournament exists and Kevin Durant and Devin Booker and LeBron James and Anthony Davis and everybody else raised their intensity level a little bit. It could be that. And if that's what it is, cool. That means we will get 10 more games a year that are played with a little more intensity. But that's it, right? Like if it's oh no, we're going to care who wins this thing. If I get a good game tomorrow night against the Pelicans, cool. It's a good game. I want to see a good basketball game. If I get an extra matchup with the Milwaukee Bucks that I wasn't going to get anyways
on a Saturday
cool
in Vegas, yeah.
Because but whether they played it in Vegas or I just want to see one of the best teams that I believe the Lakers can be against another team that I believe can win an NBA. I just want to see them play each other more often. The championship, if they play the Indiana Pacers, it's like, okay, I mean, sure, but it just feels a little different.
It's fair. And fair if Lakers lose to the Pelicans and Bucks lose to the Pacers, then it's Pacers-Pelicans on Saturday, and I'm the only one watching.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Like, if the Lakers get out,
yeah, I might call you Saturday night and say,
I'm good.
You busy?
But if there's good games, I'm all about that. And last night was a good game.
Yeah,
last night, clearly LeBron James is invested in this. He put together a LeBron James classic game. He's going to the hoop. He's getting steals. He's making shots. He's getting rebounds. He looked like, and I don't think he is anymore, but last night he looked like one of the best players in the NBA and maybe the best player in the NBA. I think that for most of us that watch basketball regularly, LeBron was either number 1 or very close to it for, 15 years? And then we're arguing maybe he's 2, Maybe he's 4, but we had him in that group. And for the first time in a while, I think coming into the season, it was he's 10, maybe 9, right? That we'd moved him out of that top. No, he's not. No, he's not. He's still very much inside that top 5, if not higher than that, when you see what he did last night.
So let's use last night's game as an example. Coming into the game, you got Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and LeBron James. Who's the best player on the floor yesterday?
LeBron, and it wasn't very close.
Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Anthony Davis, LeBron James in his 21st season. Grayson Allen in his 21st season, right? 21st season. And these are his numbers from last night. 31 points, 11 assists, 8 rebounds, 5 steals. And by the way, who played the most minutes of anybody on the floor yesterday? It was LeBron. What LeBron said something, he had a quote, talking about how he's preparing his body, this, that. And he said something to the effect of, and trying to combat Father Time. I'm trying to hand Father Time 1 L. They say Father Time is undefeated.
Right. It's a good line.
I got to be honest with you. I think Father Time already got its L. You're doing this in your 21st season. I mean, tell me another. At what point are you going to say, oh, well, Father Time won that battle? Shouldn't you have been saying that 2-3 years ago?
5. 8.
I mean,
right?
I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
Think about guys in their 21st season. We've done this before, so I don't have to do it again. They're either on a tour saying goodbye, or they're literally playing 15 minutes a night, and it's like, man, you remember when Dirk used to be really good?
It's ceremonial. It's not
Remember
real.
when Vince Carter used to be really, really good?
Hey, I saw that guy win. You don't have to say that with him. You saw him last night.
I was going to say, and it's not with Bron. It's not this. Bron's got the ball in his hands. How often? How this? So, you know what? Maybe I just figured that out. Father Time took an L.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So, the minutes.
I'm done.
Right? The minutes. Is this going to be a Mookie thing? Follow me on this. When they started playing Mookie in the infield, I'm like, I don't like this, man. This seems like a bad idea. Something's going to happen. Why would you take the best right fielder in baseball, play him that? And now it's like, yeah, Mookie's pretty darn good in the infield, too. If that's what he wants, fine. Let's roll. The cost never really showed up. Fine.
Yeah.
Is this that where fast forward to April, and we're like, hey, you know what? He played 37 minutes a night, and he played in 65, 70, 72 games, and he looks fine. I guess it's not a big deal. Or the amount of minutes and the intensity of some of these minutes, we saw it last night, is there a price to be paid at some point? Because I'm loving watching it. It's fun, but I would be lying if I said I was watching that whole thing going, yeah, in the back of my mind, I'm like, dude, how much more can he do?
Well, I think I'm going to ask you a question. Let's say the Lakers yesterday, they're in a tie game against the Phoenix Suns, and he's played 35 minutes, and there's 5 minutes left to go in the game. Is there a scenario out there where you could see LeBron James sitting on the bench for the final 5 minutes?
Not in that scenario, no. But what I can see is playing the Utah Jazz in a month, and we're saying we are not playing you more than 26 minutes tonight. And I don't give a damn what the circumstances are. I don't care if we're in a 1-point game. I don't care.
Yeah.
Tonight we'll have a little bit more flexibility in how we do this, but we're going to have to be far more rigid on other nights.
Unfortunately for the Lakers, and they're just starting to get their guys back, and this is why I feel really good kind of the position that they're in. Unfortunately for the Lakers, the way they built the roster was for them to be 28 minutes in, 29. And Darvin Ham, and you could call it a mistake, however you want. He set a precedent after the first game saying, we got a minutes guy. It's just about 28, 30 minutes a game. And then one day later, it was like, well, that's out the window, and it's been out the window the rest of the way. Michael has said this, and I think it's interesting. I think Michael has – there are going to be times where they can limit his minutes. There's going to be times where he doesn't have to play in the second of a back-to-back. You have enough room before the playoffs start where you could be a little bit more strategic, and I wonder if the Lakers are just saying, look, by the time we get to February 1st, we're dealing with things a little bit differently. By the time we're at March 1st, we have it in the back of our mind. We understand that. We know. And you know, that could just very easily be LeBron James saying, you don't know me, my body, what I do,
and that's
how
fair.
I do it. The guy got to the arena yesterday how many hours before the game? Like, the guy does – he might just be in his own regiment because he knows his body better than everybody else.
That's all true. I keep thinking about an analogy like with a car, right? Even if you took meticulous care of this car every single day, the oil's changed on time.
Car is a good example.
You're doing you're rotating the tires, you're fixing the brakes, you're washing it, you're taking. This car is spotless, but it's 40 years old, 50 years old, and you go drive it on the freeway at 80 miles an hour, that thing's going to break. Right? It's going to. It's a 50-year-old car. Yeah, but I take perfect care. I know there's not a bolt out of place on this thing. Okay, cool. If you keep driving it to work every single day, eventually it breaks. And that's the part that I am, because he is that vintage Ferrari that is perfect, but you're driving it to work back and forth every day.
You're taking it to Albertsons.
Yes.
You're taking it to like
and
where you want to just drive it on the weekend.
I want this to be driven only on Sunday afternoons when the weather's nice.
Right. I'm going to Malibu to just enjoy this car.
That's the playoffs, right? The trip to Malibu on Sunday afternoon with 75-degree weather. That's the playoffs. Let's drive it. Let's drive there and let's go enjoy it. I'm not going to run down to Home Depot real quick to pick up some potting soil for my plants and throw it in the back tonight. I'm going to leave it over there.
I like these analogies.
Right?
Good analogies right there.
I just thought it was funny. You looked at me when he said Home Depot. You looked at
Well,
me.
you know a guy.
I'm just for $200, I can take you there.
It's always $200. I like that.
I can work the.
We can negotiate. We can negotiate. Hot and Cold's coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
Time for our feature we do 3 days a week at 12:30 p.m. Who's hot? Who's cold? Thanks to Next Gen. And it's time for What's Hot on this Wednesday. How about People of the Year? Take it away, Producer M.
All right, so we got 2 big People of the Year but announced by Time. Okay, so What's Hot? First, we're going to do the Person of the Year is Taylor Swift.
Oh,
and
Jesus.
I want to point out a quote in her big feature that I think you might like, Travis. Okay. This is what she said. I've also learned there's no point in actively trying to quote-unquote defeat your enemies. Trash takes itself out every single time.
I like that.
So she understands, hey, I'm over trying to be so mad at people. Things will work itself out. Okay?
Thank you,
Other
Taylor.
thing, she says, when talking about her coverage when she goes to attend these NFL games, she says, I'm just there to support Travis. I have no awareness if I'm getting shown too much or making mad a few dads, Brads, and Chads. So she knew exactly what she was saying.
The
there.
dads, Brads, and Chad thing is way too rehearsed. That's
Yes, she knew what she wanted to
that
say.
misses big time for me.
Yeah, but I thought I didn't think that you would like that quote. I just put it out there, but I thought you would like the first quote about the trash taking itself out.
I do, because there comes a point, I think, where you realize that that's energy that you don't need to spend, right? That trash, to use her terminology, will take care of itself.
Karma comes back around.
I don't need to worry about that. It's hard.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very, very difficult, but that light does go off at some point. I do like that.
Okay, so I will say this, and I think the football thing, I think that's when, for me, it really was like, oh, my God, this is way too much of this person that I have nothing invested in, that I don't. I respect the artist. Man, she's killing. Look how many sellouts. She was here at SoFi. What'd she do? How many shows in a row?
6.
Whatever she's doing. Everything she's doing. I think for a lot of people that cross over to the NFL then became, damn, I can't even, even in this, she's there as well. She can't help it. It is what it is.
She didn't do it.
She didn't do it.
It's up to the directors to
Right.
stop shooting her.
But I was going to say, and here's the thing, sometimes no matter what it is in whatever industry you're in, if you're that successful and you're in the news all the time, people are going to get annoyed by you. And it's not even that the person did anything. I'll explain. Let me give you a good example. There's a lot of people, LeBron James, it's like, oh, my God, LeBron again.
Right.
Everywhere I turn, it's LeBron James again. Like that. And did LeBron do something wrong? Or maybe you could say, wow, LeBron's given his opinion on this, that, whatever the case is. That's bound to happen for anyone that's successful. So
it finds its own way. I forget what the first game was when she showed up in KC.
It was a bad team.
It felt like she was on camera every time the ball wasn't in play.
Yeah.
It was like, all right, enough. The game on Sunday night against the Packers, it felt about right.
She was there once or twice, whatever amount.
She's a wildly famous human
yeah,
being.
but she had, in the suite, she had a button, we turn our mic on or off. She had a camera that was on directly. They didn't have a choice. The feed was on her.
The Swift
she's
cam.
she's one of the most famous people in the world.
Yeah.
You're going to put her on camera. Simone Biles is a famous American athlete, so she's going to be on, and she's married to one of the players in the game.
Yeah,
so
that was more natural. Yeah.
She's going to be there, but if I don't know who's another internationally famous person that's not an athlete.
Beyonce.
If Beyonce were in the crowd, they're showing Beyonce a few times.
Yeah.
Even if she has no connection to any of the players, it's Beyonce. Put her on. If Britney Spears were in the crowd, you're going to show Britney Spears.
But Taylor Swift was on 94 times in that first game.
That's I think everybody kind of recalibrated and said, yeah, okay.
Let's go 91.
Other person of the year is Lionel Messi, sports person of the year. Jorge, right? Yeah, you're so excited.
We have a quote by Messi. What did he say, Trav?
I'm very happy to be the sports person of the year.
Yes.
I won the World Cup, and I got to go back home,
right.
and there was a big party, and now I've won the Time Sports Person of the Year. Yay!
That's exactly
I'm
what he said.
I'm so glad we got Messi on the show.
His
Amazing.
exact
He's hard to
quote.
book.
Yeah, he's
He's
a hard
to book.
All right, I'm going to go
I'm
with...
not finished telling you my quote.
Oh, okay.
I want to tell you that I got ice cream, and I got cake,
Orange
and I got to
slices.
stay up till 11:30 after we won the World Cup.
And mate.
So proud of you, Messi. Are we good? Can I move
we're
on?
good. Yeah.
I'll decide when we move on.
Yeah, might come back.
I won the sports person of the year. I get to decide when we do it. I picture his mother going, now, Messi, take it easy. Relax. Don't get yourself worked up. You're going to give yourself a nosebleed.
And you got the U.S. Open Cup, Messi.
And I got the U.S. Open Cup. And
Ballon d'Or?
Inter Miami is a minor league that I said that the other day. Probably shouldn't have said that.
Can you go for like 3 more minutes?
I run out of breath pretty quickly.
Can I go to who's cold?
Yeah, let's try. Let's see. I think he left the room.
And now time for What's Cold.
What's cold?
The Tush Push.
The Tush Push.
All right. So I was listening to New Heights podcast this morning, which is the Kelsey Brothers podcast. And Travis brought up the idea that Roger Goodell wants to ban the Tush Push. And I'll play you the sound of both Trav and Jason talking about the Tush Push.
Commissioner Roger Goodell wants to permanently ban the brotherly shove. That's right. It's all coming to an end. Once the commission starts talking about it and saying he wants to get it done, it's going to get done. Mr. Goodell just made all our lives a little easier in the NFL outside of the Eagles organization. Jason, do you fully expect it to be banned next season at this point? Are you just sick of the debate?
Listen, ban it. I really, at this point, I don't care. I'm over the discussion about it.
To be fair, it would just be banning like the push in the back. Everybody would still be able to run the QB sneak, I think.
Well, that's where I'm kind of like, whatever. We were really good at running quarterback sneak before we did the push. I don't think that it's a necessary part for it. It certainly helps. There's no question about it. I don't have the energy to care about whether it gets banned or not. We're going to run it right now because we're good at it and it's effective. And whatever they do next season, we'll figure out a way to do something at a high level and make it effective. I don't know.
So you think that it's a fine thing for them to ban the Tush Push?
I've kind of come around on this in a different way. This would be like banning Tyreek Hill from football. Hey, you're too fast. Nobody can run with you. You just keep running past everybody and they throw it over our heads. It's unfair.
Yeah.
Well, it's only Tyreek Hill that can do that, right? The Eagles are really the only team that has this advantage because of that offensive line, and more specifically, because of Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is a big, strong guy, and he can move the pile. What is he? I don't know what it is. Squats 600 pounds. We hear the stat all the time. The Rams can't run that play. Chargers can't run that play. It doesn't work for anybody other than the Philadelphia Eagles. So I don't know, because they have a play that works for them, we need to wipe it off the face of the earth.
Here's
for the rest of the league.
What I don't like about it is, okay, let's say in a couple years there's something else that one team has a really big advantage on. Now are you going to start looking at that and saying, I don't know, should we be allowing this? Should we not be allowing? Why are you setting a precedent to say, well, this is specific and they're really good at it, that's got to go? You know what could happen if you keep it is it could become more part of the game. Maybe there are other quarterbacks that have a similar size or can squat this that say, hey, this might be an advantage for our team because we have some of the elements that could be there. You're banning it? Like I'm
okay with that. Like if half the league, because now it's 1st and 8.5, right? And half the league has a first. If it's a play that is unstoppable, to use the word, right, and it's boring, and it is, it's not a particularly interesting play, then let's move on from it. But if it's just, hey, look, we've got the right personnel to do this, that's not up to the Eagles to get it banned.
Yep.
If it becomes bad for the sport, that the sport becomes rugby and there's just these scrums, then you got to change the rule. But if one team just has an advantage because of a personnel grouping,
I know about that.
shouldn't be banned.
I'm with you on that.
Hot and Cold is brought to you by NextGen. NextGen, the official AC heat and plumbing company of SoCal sports fans. Call 833-3-NEXTGen or visit nextgenairandplumbing.com. The Dump is coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN. Speaking of my things that, I got my Silverado. When I go to Home Depot, Jorge, I can throw all my stuff in the back of that Silverado because I got it from Rotolo Chevrolet. And I love it. And you will love yours, too. That's why you got to get yourself out there, right? It's right off the 210 freeway, Sierra Avenue exit in Fontana. And, hey, you've been thinking about this very specific Silverado, right? The right color, the right model, and everything else. They have it at Rotolo Chevrolet. Go find out for yourself what all the fun is about, and go see for yourself why they've won Dealer of the Year 13 years in a row, because that's what they've done. Selection, forget about it. Pricing, of course. Customer service, like nothing you've ever seen before. That's how you win Dealer of the year after year after year for 13 years. By treating people with respect, by giving them great deals, and by being honest and upfront with them. And that's what they do every single day at Rotolo. Mike Capozio, you see him on TV, right on down the line. Everybody at the store at Rotolo is going to make sure that you have the experience of your lifetime. ROTOLO, Rotolo Chevrolet online, rotolochevy.com. All the stuff you need to know is right there, too. But go find out for yourself what all the fun is about at Rotolo Chevrolet in Fontana.
When amazing happens.
The 12 Days of 710. Hi, this is Michelle Smallman, host of the new ESPN radio morning show, Unsportsmanlike. Heard weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. right here on 710. It's that time of year, time for the season of winning on 710. Just listen for me to give you the cue to call. When you hear it, be caller number 7 at 877-710-ESPN, and you get to pick a holiday gift box in the 710 studio. Will it be the Travis box, the Sliwa box, Mason, Ireland, the Sedano box, or Cappy? Each box could have a fabulous prize for you to win.
The Black and Gold are heading to the MLS Cup Final again.
That's it, it's over. LAFC are going back to the MLS Cup Final. They are the Western Conference champions.
The reigning MLS Cup champs LAFC will defend their title as the run for the repeat just got real. It's LAFC versus Columbus Crew in the 2023 MLS Cup Final. Coverage starts Saturday at noon on 710 ESPN and the ESPN LA app.
All right, Chad, I'm going to read this one to you. John Heyman. Only medicals and minor details to go on Juan Soto trade talks with the Padres and the Yankees. The principals are telling folks they expect the deal done fairly soon. This was just a few minutes ago. Once done, New York will also get Trent Grisham as part of the deal. They just traded for Verdugo as well from the Red Sox. Can I tell you this? And this is kind of it's an interesting one. You're hearing the chatter around, obviously Ohtani. The Diamondbacks get to the World Series. The San Francisco Giants end up with Bob Melvin. And look, the Giants are a good organization. I cannot tell you how much I hate what's happening right now in San Diego. I know it's the final year of his deal, and I know there's probably a very, very good chance that Juan Soto is not going to stay with the Padres. Why don't you just start the freaking season with him? Why don't you just say to yourself, look, we're going to walk into this season with Juan Soto, who is by far the best player on the Padres. And that's with a pretty stacked offensive group, and he's by far the best player. Start the season with him. See how things are going. You lost. They were the worst team in one-run games all of last year. The year before that, they were the best team with one-run games.
Works.
Can we just see how they're looking? Can we just see if they're in contention? Can we just see that by the time you get to June 1st, are the Padres real deal or are they not? I can't tell you how much I hate this deal.
It's interesting.
I don't know who these players are. I don't know if they're going to turn into anything.
I know Ireland feels the same way that I do on this. Give me the guy. Give me the guy. You can take all the maybes, might be's, who knowses.
I know what this is.
There's no proof of concept in Juan Soto. He's one of the best players in the league. Full stop. He is. He will be for a while. He's in his mid-20s. He's going to be a really good player for a very long time. I agree with you because let's say they decide not to do it right now. let's say the Padres come out of the gate looking really good next year. Let's say you get to the trade deadline and you are one of the best teams in the National League.
You got a chance to make the playoffs and make a run.
The Padres are not the Dodgers. They're not the Braves. They're not throw one or two other two teams in there where, hey, we're going to be in this more often than not. We're not the Houston Astros where we're in it every single year, right? So we can take a shot whenever we want. The Padres are kind of like, hey, when you get it, you better take your best shot at it. And at that point, you might lose them for nothing, and that would suck. But what if you go to the World Series again? What if you win the World Series?
I know.
It's totally worth it.
And if it's the same thing that it was last year where you weren't good, okay, trade him at the deadline.
Get what you want. Yeah,
you're going to get a ton of teams that are competing for a playoff spot or in position to say, we're a Juan Soto away from making a run at the postseason.
What if they got the Godfather offer? You know what I mean? Like, what if the Yankees went in and said, listen, we want Soto.
Yeah.
What's it going to take? And the Padre Brain Trust gets together, AJ Preller, and everybody gets together and say, hey, ask for these 10 guys. And they'll never do it. And the Yankees went, cool. We good? We good? What if they got exactly like their wildest dream came true with the offer?
If you made a case that, and again, look, I don't know who these young players are, but if you made a case that, look, this you have to trade Juan Soto, and this is why. You got these two pitchers, and you got this shortstop that this. I'm just making it all up. Okay, I could understand that. I could justify it. The problem is with the Padres, they already have a high payroll, even getting rid of Soto. You're already in it with Tatis and Bogarts and Manny Machado and Yu Darvish, and you already got all these players that you already committed in. What does tomorrow become? And let me explain it from this situation.
What if he has a terrible season?
Can I say this as well? And I have no idea how much this has. Peter Seidler just passed away. If Peter Seidler was in good health and he was the one spending and saying, I'm going to go shoot for it all, I wonder how much different it would be.
Might be.
And we'll never know.
The problem is that, right?
Yeah.
What if he crashes into the wall running after a fly ball and messes up his shoulder and he can't swing the bat the same again? You know what I mean? Like there are stuff happens, right? Cody Bellinger was an MVP, and I'm not comparing the two guys, but Cody Bellinger was an MVP every time he came up, and then he ran after a ball in Colorado and hit the wall, and he's really never been the same ever again.
And you're saying, what if that happens to Juan Soto?
What if that happens to Juan Soto?
Here's the good news.
Yeah.
He's so bad at defense, and his speed is never going to have enough momentum to run him into a wall where we have to worry about that.
All right. It was on this day in 1964 that the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the stopped motion one that we've all seen from the time we were 6 years old, was released. It is oddly scary. Yeah. It's creepy.
Abominable Snowman.
But it's also fun. It's also something that we've all seen. 1964. That will be on network TV at some point in the next, what's today? The 6th? In the next 19 days, it'll be on.
Yeah, it's already on.
Do you have a go-to Christmas movie that you watch every year?
I think I've said this before. My favorite Christmas movie, and I think it's just because of the age I was in when it came out, Home Alone still stands as one of my favorite Christmas movies.
Em, you got one that you watch every year?
Every year?
Yeah.
No. Okay, I'm going to call this a Christmas movie because there's
like
Christmas
Stephen
elements
King's
Die Hard
to it. Little Women, the Greta Gerwig version of Little Women. There is a series. They do celebrate Christmas in the movie, and so I watch it. It makes me feel like home, and I love it.
What about you, Jorge?
Yeah, there's two of them.
The Rock?
No. Yeah, right. The goal. No, where the guy goes and plays in Europe. No, it's Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's Turbo Time.
I got two.
Yeah.
I got Christmas Story, right, with Ralphie getting the BB gun. That's just one when I was a kid. You'll shoot your eye out. And Elf.
Fudge.
Elf is a great. Elf is a good one. Scrooged with Bill Murray is another great. It's funny. It's kind of creepy and dark, but yeah, there's a bunch of them. That's certainly on the list. Dumb and Dumber, not a Christmas movie, also came out on this day in 1994. That movie's brilliant because it's so stupid.
Yeah. So stupid.
Right?
Beyond stupid.
It is just one ridiculous gag after
another.
Next, and it's tremendous.
Yeah, that's one of the... There's a few movies that I think go down. A lot of them for me are Will Ferrell movies. A lot of them are Vince Vaughn and Will Ferrell. Like, I love just absolutely stupid Talladega Nights. You can go to Step Brothers. Dumb and Dumber is an iconic, what are you guys doing? But it's freaking hilarious.
The scene where they're in the front seat of their stupid van that's shaped like a dog, and the bad guy that's coming to kill him is in between them, and he makes that noise, and he goes, right into his ear. Every time I see that, it's tremendous to me.
There's 100 examples of that in that movie. You know what I mean?
Dear gas man, we left town. How do they know I have gas?
They put the chilies on. It's tremendous. It's tremendous. Happy birthday to Giannis, who turns 29 years old today. He had a pretty nice night last night. His team is headed to Vegas as well. That Giannis is only 29 is kind of alarming. It feels like he's been in the league forever, and he's only 29.
So I'm not 100% sure on this, but I think this is how it's working. So I believe tomorrow. How is that working in Vegas? If you buy a ticket, is it like the Final Four? You're going to get the Pacers and the Bucks, which is early. It's like I think if I saw this right, it's like a 2 p.m. tip-off or something like that.
Combo plate?
And then 6 p.m.
We carrying that?
And then 6 p.m. is going to be the Lakers and the Pelicans. That's a pretty cool thing, right? That never happens in the NBA. You get 2 events in one arena.
Yeah, 2
all
for
happening.
1.
Yeah.
You know who would love that? My dad, when they used to do the Pac-12 basketball tournament at Staples Center, a million years ago, they used to do it at Pauley Pavilion when they first launched it. My dad would sit there and watch every game.
Set up shop.
He'd be in Pauley Pavilion for 12 hours. Hey, it's Oregon State and Cal. Yeah, I know. Why are you there? What are you doing? This is great. I get to see ASU against Washington State. Yeah,
I get to see him take a score, too.
He loved it.
Yep.
It still does. Like hey, did you watch ASU in Colorado last night? No, of course I didn't watch that. Why would I watch that? He goes, really good game. ASU's pretty good this year. Like,
I didn't know he has the same voice as Michael.
Sometimes he loves that stuff. Hey, Andy.
Michael
how you
Rogers,
today?
by the way. Michael Rogers.
Feeling all right?
Yeah?
Feeling good?
Are you in for Ireland today?
I am playing the role of John Ireland.
All right.
Okay.
All right. You know what we should do, Andy?
How about a little super crosstalk?
ESPN AM 710 Los Angeles. KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
K256CX 99.1 FM Pasadena, Los Angeles.
It's the greatest segment in LA sports radio history.
Oh my God. When the shows come together for magic on the radio.
It will only grow stronger. Super Crosstalk.
Are we ready for Mason and Ireland to join Travis and Slee?
Super Crosstalk begins. Super Crosstalk presented by In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out. That's what a hamburger is all about.
It's time for Super Crosstalk.
All right, Andy, you're going to have to fill in some blanks here because I don't know exactly how this came to be. But you and Brian filled in for Al and I the Wednesday before Thanksgiving.
Yes, that is correct.
And I don't know, you might have sent it to me, Brian might have sent it to me, or maybe I saw it on Twitter or something. But I don't know if it's a fact or cap, but there was name something that used to be cool that is no longer. And was it you that said my name? That Travis Rogers is something that used to be cool but isn't any longer?
No, I said smoking.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Somebody mentioned me.
I don't remember.
Okay, then maybe somebody else must have sent it to me. Maybe it was Brian that sent it to me. Did it not come up on the show?
I don't remember you coming up a lot.
Well, because this is what Trav does.
You were very out of sight, out of mind as far as we were concerned.
This is what Trav created something in his own head and said, I don't know who. It could have just been a tweet or something.
It probably
from
was.
a random person. And instantly Trav was, when I see freaking AK, when I see Andy.
No,
So this has been brewing for like a few weeks in your head.
Well, I just
That's
wanted
right. Thanksgiving one.
This is like your Seinfeld the jerk store moment.
You know what? They ran out of you. I was just more curious the context
funny.
of the topic and how it must have been a tweet from a random person.
Somehow we were talking about that. I don't remember what sparked this, but it's the idea of things that were once cool that no longer are.
Yeah.
And among the things that we discussed was smoking. Because, like, nowadays, smoking, there's a real stigma around it. Like, I know my daughter's 12. She really, truly finds it repulsive. I get the impression that none of her friends are even sort of intrigued by it.
You smoked for a while.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Al, did you ever smoke?
Never did.
Yeah. Mace, were you ever a smoker?
I tried. It never stuck.
Yeah. I don't know if they're.
I literally did try.
Nothing with
you
cigarettes
wanted
for
to
me.
like it.
Oh, that looks cool. You know, that's
Yep.
the whole.
Where they pack it, whatever they're doing. I would do
never
that.
stuck.
I was
didn't
the
know what I was
opposite.
doing.
Like I remember I first started when I was around 13, and I remember being like, I cannot believe I wasted the first 12 years of my life not smoking. This is the greatest thing ever.
At 13?
So my mom would say, the kids that smoked at school, at Mommy High School, they were the burnouts.
Oh, sure.
And you didn't want to be a burnout. And by the way, they all wore jean jackets. So we were not allowed to get jean jackets because if you wore a jean jacket,
then you're going to have a cigarette.
This is how much burnout. They came with cigarettes.
This is how much culture has changed. Like there used to be at high schools smoking
areas.
section, like for the kids.
We had one at Arcadia High School.
I mean, not even for for the teachers, for the kids.
Yeah, you're right. It is so you're like a leper now if you smoke. It's like nobody.
So
I'm out of here.
So quick story here, because my dad, I mentioned this to you, for years owned a liquor store. Right. So we're growing up, and that's kind of like the business is a liquor store. So you get all these promotional like items that you'd have
from the cigarette companies.
From anything. It could be Lotto. It could be. Think about what's in a liquor store.
Okay.
Frito-Lay, shirts, stuff like that.
Sure.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So
asking.
growing up, we had, I think, half of our wardrobe was Marlboro and Camel Lights of like shirts of this stuff, and I didn't even recognize like at a certain age. We're also using those to clean the car.
Yep.
We're also like literally, I'm probably 15, less than that. While AK is actually smoking a cig at 13, I'm representing.
You've got Joe Camel on.
Oh, I'm offended at the idea of him using a wonderful Camel Light shirt to wash your car. Like, how dare you, sir? How dare you do that to Camel
A walking billboard for every cigarette company.
How committed to liking it were you? Like one cigarette, like, no, this isn't for me?
Oh, no.
Did you buy a pack?
I went for a while.
Okay.
I mean, I went for weeks, and I'm like, I don't get it. It just doesn't work. And by the way, kids don't smoke. Just because I tried it doesn't mean you should smoke.
Do you know anybody that smokes?
No.
Like as a regular cigarette. I know there's vape and all, but like
Vaping
smokes
and-
cigarettes
Well,
regularly.
vape is it's worse.
I'm not-
It's just as
Yes.
worse.
You mean inhaling stuff over a battery would be
I
bad
know.
Yeah,
for
you
you?
mean that's bad for you?
I still know some.
Who knows?
I need to see the evidence.
Can't we go back to a time we had nice, healthy alternatives like Marlboro Reds?
I still have family members that smoke.
Unfiltered
Do you?
Luckies.
Did like in the house, in the car, the whole thing?
No, hell no, none of that. It's like but it's a cultural thing. I think that it was so accepted, and I think culturally too, Middle Eastern culture is very normal.
Mm-hmm.
And I still think you have definitely stuff that people smoke, but there is we go to the side. You're outside, like on your own. Nobody's doing it in front of
You
anybody.
know, it's funny. You don't. At least I don't think like peer pressure. I don't subscribe to that. I was never influenced by any of this stuff. I remember the first job I had at a real television station. It was at KYT up in Santa Barbara.
Okay.
And I was an intern there my last year of school, and there was a guy that was the evening anchor.
Okay.
And I forget his name. Bob something or other. He had this rich baritone voice. That just the thing that in our business we all want to have.
Pipes.
Right?
He
Just
had pipes.
Pipes.
Yeah.
He sounded amazing. And I was chatting with him. I said, do you always have that voice? And if you always sounded like that? Because at this point he was probably in his 60s.
Right.
And he goes, no, not really. I said, well, how did he? He goes, 40 years of smoking cigarettes and drinking scotch. And I swear to you, I'm like, I'm going to start drinking scotch. I don't think I could smoke cigarettes because, like you, Mace, it just made me feel terrible. But wonder how much scotch I need to drink.
There was a
to start
period
doing
where
that.
I was on the Bob, whatever his name is, diet. Scotch and cigarettes.
Woo! It was pretty effective.
So, Sliwa, I have a bone to pick with you.
Yeah.
So, you used to do the Lakers postgame show here on 710 ESPN. Do you know where I'm going with this?
I think so, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the idea of you not doing the postgame show was let's let Al rest up and be really fresh for Travis and Slee.
Okay.
So you apparently are doing your own postgame show
Yeah.
somewhere else instead of like taking the night off and kicking back. What's going on?
Nothing going on. That's 6 years running, something along those lines.
So even though you're not doing it on the radio, you're still doing it.
Say that one more time.
Even though you're not doing it on the radio, you're still doing it.
Yeah, I was doing it before I was doing it on the radio, doing it while I was doing it. I would do it after I was done with the post-game show, and still doing it. So,
boy, you are just
you got it.
He's all Lakers all the time.
All Lakers all the time, working his ass off.
I think too, it's like, something that I think that actually had a lot to do with me getting opportunities on air and practicing and everything else. It's kind of like.
You started with Lakers Talk.
I started with Lakers Talk and doing a YouTube post-game show. There's certain things that are important to, I think, keep doing, and that one's important.
If you were going to do a post-Mason and Ireland post-game show, okay, or it could be the topic of your choosing.
Right.
What are you doing? What are you breaking down? You doing Dodgers? You doing Lakers? You doing something else?
Well, with Ireland, we're probably going Lakers, right?
Okay. No, it's just you.
Oh, it's just me?
It's just you.
Oh, I'm going Shohei Ohtani.
All the time.
Just
Shohei Tracker hosted by Steve Mason.
Ohtani.
What about you, Andy?
I feel like I've experienced on a few different levels, kind of like Alan, what it is to do Lakers postgame.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll tell you, for about a season and change, I did USC pregame. Mm-hmm. That was a lot of fun. I actually really enjoyed that show.
When did you do USC? Was I there?
I took the handoff from you. I believe I took over.
Okay.
I took over for you. Jorge actually worked on the show with me. It was a lot of fun.
How long did you? Because I did SC for 2 seasons.
I did it for 8.
You did it for 8?
Yeah, for 8 years.
Did SC 8?
Yeah. And by the way, those were the golden days.
I heard about those tailgates.
Oh, we had this gigantic party.
Oh, remember?
It was awesome.
Were you here when that was going on?
I just missed
Slee,
it.
were you there?
Yeah, Wiley was DJing.
Oh yeah,
yes.
Marcellus Wiley would DJ.
Those tailgates were fantastic.
Unbelievable.
Oh, they were great. The food was awesome.
Yep.
Wiley's
all catered.
DJing. Completely
Actually,
catered. Bristol Farms
was catered.
Yes.
So you had a ridiculous spread. It was right outside the Coliseum.
Open bar.
Everybody wanted to get into this tailgate. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was crazy. And I keep saying to Jen Cohen, when are you coming back to 710 ESPN? I say this to Jen Cohen all the time, the new AD at USC. And so far I've not gotten a positive response. We really want that over here, right? We want USC football, I think.
Oh, of course you do.
Yeah. So do you know Jen Cohen well?
I don't know her at all.
No, Slee, do you know? Okay, I'll be the point man.
How did you? Was she at SC when you were there? I know she's been around.
Never met her in my life. It was BS.
Okay, but can
if she's listening, Jen, if you're listening,
Jen, call me.
Come on,
you're shooting your shot.
I'm taking my shot.
Can you think of? And this is just purely business, right?
Purely
Saturdays. What do we really do on this station on Saturdays? Predominantly, it's kind of an open day, and it's one of the only open days that we have. SC and ESPN LA in a partnership, like doesn't that just sound like it fits? And then Sunday we're covered, Lakers were covered, all the Rams were covered.
Yeah,
just missing SC.
By the way, and I'm buying stock on it. I know everybody's down on USC. I'm buying stock.
I buy
on
stock.
USC. The schedule's tough next year, but Danton Lynn is an excellent acquisition.
Free fall that the stock was in after the middle of the season last year.
I'd buy stock.
It is stabilized. I think that the stock is stabilized with the Lynn.
Buy stock now.
Mace, it's not even just. You went and got a much better defensive coordinator.
Right.
It's, hey, what do we have to do to bring you in? Mm-hmm. No hesitation. Yeah, we'll go ahead and bring. What do you need? Double the pay? Sounds good. Yeah, we'll do it. That there's also this. They're showing this commitment of like, okay, it might have not gone perfect, but we're not going to stop investing. We're just going to keep investing. We'll double down even more.
And I'm sure they're busy in the transfer portal right now. They're, what
that's
would you say?
That's
hundreds
part one.
Of kids in the transfer portal.
Yeah, I mean it's such a weird deal. Like, I hate the transfer portal, but I 100% support it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's a little bit like free agency.
It's exactly like free agency, right? That I support the college athlete's right to go get what you can get. I'm with you. Yep. Go get it. But having guys on new teams every year kind of takes a little bit of the fun out of rooting for some of these teams. A little bit. Like when you see a guy, and I use this as an example because Travis Dye was at Oregon forever and ever. Really good running back.
Came down to SC.
And created a career and a reputation. And then it's like, my last year I'll go play for SC. Like, if you went and played for Florida State, okay, but just down the road in the same conference, just
well, if you were a quarterback and you were going into the transfer portal right now, where else would you want to play than USC?
San Diego State.
San Diego State is your alternate, right?
Snapdragon, San Diego State.
Right.
Who's not buying?
The Snap, Crackle, and Pop Stadium.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
Of all the things that Lincoln Riley could say when it comes to I want that guy as my quarterback, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
like
he absolutely does.
He's criticism free in that department. The rest of it, time will tell.
And he'll have a great opportunity to showcase himself as a quarterback because you will always need him to save you in every game until we see evidence of the defense getting better.
You better keep throwing touchdown passes.
If you had a very big secret that you wanted nobody to know, would you tell Dave Roberts the secret, or would you not?
I would not. I don't think you can't trust Dave Roberts.
Can you explain?
He's just going to blurt it out the moment there's a microphone.
Okay,
there.
Mace, I thought.
Yeah, we talked to I wasn't supposed to say that.
Okay, no, but it wasn't even that. He went on for 15 minutes on it. But I was going to ask, we were having this conversation. I said that I think more now that Ohtani is going to end up with the Dodgers because of everything that happened yesterday.
Right.
I don't think you could be that blind, and maybe I'm wrong here, that if it's down to 3 teams, Angels, Toronto, and Dodgers, you can make a case that Dodgers makes the most sense.
Mm-hmm.
But if Dave Roberts goes that far with that much detail and really not even being pride, it's no, you know what? Not only did we meet, we met for 2 to 3 hours.
Right. I mean, it's sort of like Fight Club. The first rule of negotiating with Shohei Ohtani is not to mention you're negotiating with Shohei Ohtani.
Is it possible he got the directive wrong and thought it was talk as much about Ohtani as you possibly can?
If that was the directive,
that's the best explanation I've heard so far.
Yeah. Don't talk about
I've heard this story, and I don't remember the band. But it was either Van Halen or the Rolling Stones. There's something in their rider, like no green M&Ms.
Van Halen.
Yeah, I've heard that, yeah.
Right? And it's not because they care about green M&Ms. They want to make sure that their manager read the damn rider.
Right.
They want to make sure that, hey, you're on top of your stuff. If the only rule is, hey, listen, I know it's not a big deal. Let's just not talk about getting together.
Yeah.
And then he goes and sits down and says, oh, yeah, we met yesterday.
Yeah, we met.
It's like
2-3 hours.
Really? And I don't think that's the thing that's going to prevent him from coming.
I hope not.
It better not. But
they'll blame him. It is. Everyone will blame him.
It'll blame him.
Oh, right. If they don't sign him,
they're going to blame him.
It's going to come down to Dave Roberts.
But if I said to you, hey, Mace, listen, man.
Yeah.
I know it's weird.
Yeah.
Can you just not tell people that my favorite color is blue? Can you just not tell anybody that?
Yeah.
And then your show starts in 10 minutes. You're like, I was talking with Travis yesterday. He told me my favorite color is blue. It's like that's what he did.
That is, by the way, why you never tell Ireland that your favorite color is blue. That is 100%.
Let me defend Ireland, because if we have this expression, under the hat, okay? So if there's something private and we want it not to be discussed on the show, we put it under the hat. So there are lots of things about Ireland that I won't say because I know it's under the hat, and vice versa.
Dave needs a hat.
Dave needs a hat. Dave's hat needed.
It's small.
It's small. It's a small hat. It didn't have room for that. Yeah.
It better not be. It won't be. I still think they're going to get it.
Me too.
Why even take the chance? Super Crosstalks brought to you by In-N-Out Burger.